Hello! A very special anniversary recently passed for this channel. July 19th, 2015 was a very important day for me, the day I posted a video with Fat Sonic in the thumbnail. Sorry you all had to keep seeing this. That was the algorithm's fault, not mine. While not the sole reason, this first video was the catalyst that allowed me to become a full-time YouTuber, and to this day, it remains my most successful video, which is crazy because I don't even know if it's all that good anymore. But regardless, I will forever be grateful, and that's why every year for 10 years now, I try to take some time out of my schedule to promote some fan-made projects. Besides, they deserve more eyes on them anyway. Having hit such a big milestone, what follows is a compilation of the past 10 years of me talking about Sonic fan content. ROM hacks, mods, fan games, all that, and more. The audio quality is not great, it can only be fixed so much in those earliest videos, and dare I say, the attempt at comedy is terrible. But all the same, I still love these videos, and if you've been watching all this time, or even if you're a brand new subscriber, thank you so much for your support over the years, and stay tuned for more fan-made content coming in the near future. Now, for the feature presentation. It kinda goes without saying, but Sonic the Hedgehog is a staple of many 90s kids' childhoods, much like Nicktoons, Pogs, and Tamagotchi. Oh hey, a pet circle, cool. Now imagine, if you will, a younger me. Now imagine little me getting his first ever personal computer that wasn't shared with the rest of the family. It was then I discovered the wild and mysterious world of emulators. Now I know that talk of emulation is pretty taboo in the grand scheme of things. You're not really allowed to talk about it, I suppose. But realistically, this was a big aspect of my childhood. I discovered quite a plethora of great games that I, at the time, never heard of. And this was way before the world of online videos, where some random schmo can pick a game off the shelf and make a video on it. Wait. What's pretty awesome is there are people out there who have the ability to take a game that you know and love and completely change it on its head. You combine that with Sonic the Hedgehog, whose fan base is known for being incredibly insatiable, not that I can blame them, and to no surprise, there are a lot of ROM hacks. You want to play as Tails or Knuckles in Sonic 1? What about a brand new character with Amy, Trusted Hammer and all? Or maybe even play as Vector the Crocodile? No? You don't wanna? Well, you can. Many hacks follow a similar formula. Change up the level design, some of the graphics, bing bang boom, ship it to the internet, 3-day delivery guaranteed. Not to say they're all bad, quite the opposite actually, plenty of them are pretty good. The crown jewel, however, has to be Sonic Mega Mix. 5 playable characters, fantastic level design that encourages speed, beautiful new graphics, and music tracks pulled from many other Sega games including Moonwalker and Rice Star. It's incredible. But I know you don't want to hear me talk about the good ROM hacks. Those are easy to come by if you do simple searches. No. Instead, I gotta talk about more interesting ones, the special ones. Ones that you just look at and you go, this is Sonic in Paint, a graphics overhaul of Sonic 1, you could say. And according to the text file that came with the game, the goal is to run around and every button is jump, don't get hit by the bad guys. I mean, they're not wrong. Let's just check out Starlight Zone, one of my favorite. Whoa. Sonic in Paint. More like AntDude in pain. I think I'm going blind. Going back to other playable characters, let's talk about Big the Cat. You know, possibly the dumbest thing ever that also happens to be voiced by Duke Frickin' Nukem. Oh man, where could that pollywog cow be anyway?
I ought to break a broom handle off in your ass.
This is Big's Fishing Derby, a ROM hack where you literally fish. Bet you didn't see that coming. Froggy did a thing, and now all of the fish are evil, so you need to save Froggy by fishing for him like 15 times. For some reason, you just can't keep your hands on him. What kinda caught me off guard though is catching other fish gives you power-ups, and it's pretty useless in single player, but when you play in multiplayer against Robotnik where it's a race to see who gets Froggy first, the power-ups can either work for you or against your opponent, and it's actually kinda fun. Quite frankly, I'm stunned. And speaking of Dr. Robotnik, you can even play as him in Sonic 1. It's pretty disturbing to watch, but there's actually another ROM hack that looks to change things up quite significantly. This ought to be good. Dr. Robotnik's creature capture takes place before the first Sonic game, and it's up to the fabled Doctor to catch the small woodland creatures across all the zones and place them in the infamous containers. But the kicker is you can only hold one of them at a time, and some of them are actually pretty hidden, requiring you to use a bit of strategy, and what the hell, man, this is fun too! Ugh, this isn't going according to plan at all. These weird ROM hacks are just turning out to be good. That's the exact opposite of what I wanted. Okay, what's next? Oh boy, it's Omochow! Am I the only one who got a sick sense of pleasure from kicking the crap out of this thing in Sonic Adventure 2? Haha, serves you right for trying to be helpful. So let me guess, he's just gonna fly around me and tell me all the obvious things like he does in the real game? Yep, okay, exactly what I expected. Can't say I'm too surprised about oh, again? Okay, oh man, oh, it doubled the jingle! Okay, I gotta admit, that's kind of funny. Okay, it happened again. This is amazing. This jingle triggers every time you do damn near anything in the game, and it just gets longer every single time, and you can't skip it. Bounced on a spring? Okay. Took damage? Okay. Bounced on another spring? Okay. It is pretty funny, but admittedly it does get kind of annoying after a okay. But alright, I can do this. As few jingles as possible. Let's go! No! Alright, Green Hill Zone 1 complete. It only took me 14 minutes and 25 jingles. I could feel my body slowly fading away. This next one is Chip McCallahan in Sonic the Hedgehog. And by Chip McCallahan, I mean the guy from the classic computer game Chip's Challenge. Okay. Oh boy, yep, okay, that's Chip alright. What is my life? Alright, Motobug, you're going to... Okay. Oh, woo! 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 Now this next one is pretty notorious in the world of Sonic ROM hacks. At first glance, it looks like regular old Sonic 2, but uh-oh. Sonic got fat. This is Sonic 2 XL, where all the rings have been replaced with onion rings. The fatter Sonic gets, the harder it is to control. And if he gets too fat, he actually dies. But it's okay, just run around for a little bit and the weight will just pour right off. Not gonna lie, it's pretty ingenious, if not slightly disturbing. But I mean, look how fat Sonic is! Next up is Sonic the Hedgehog, Eggs on Toast. Alright, I have absolutely no idea what that could possibly mean. What's this one gonna be about? I don't even know why I question these things. I mean, I was the one who chose to do this video in the first place, so I should have expected anything. It's just I feel like I put myself in this position where... Hey, stop thinking about where this voice is coming from. Keep looking in the mirror, pretending to be confused. Let's wrap this segment up, alright? I really feel like I have so many questions to ask, but this is just Sonic 1, but the rings are replaced with eggs on toast. This even holds true in the special stages. Okay, that's a toaster. I don't, man. Like, once you finish the game with all the Chaos Toasters, you unlock New Game Plus, where Sonic's head turns into toast. Haha, I guess you could say Green Hill Zone just got toast. Okay, the game made the pun for me. Good. In New Game Plus, the special stages are harder, and there are 7 of them. Once you collect all of these super eggs, you can turn into Super Toast, which is pretty neat and not at all like Super Sonic. Trust me on this, I'm on the internet. Dr. Robotnik was also replaced by this guy, who I'm gonna name John the Anti-Toast. Makes about as much sense as anything else in this damn ROM hack. But okay, I beat the game again. I just wonder now, is the ending any different? This next ROM hack sort of covers something that I think a lot of you guys were expecting. An original character. This one is titled, Yeth. It can't get any more weird than it already has, right? Oh, I'm in for a good time. Okay, say hello to Yeth, this little white, I mean, this is kinda just Sonic 1 with revamped level design and, odd design choices. But alright, let's take out Robotnik. This looks familiar. I take it back, this isn't familiar at all. Okay, on to Zone 2. And also, whenever you finish an act, it just says, good for you. Ah, positive encouragement, just when I needed it most. Okay, a vastly different art style. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Honestly, I'm mesmerized. There's no boss fight this time around. Instead, you head right into the monochrome spring yard zone, titled Yesticles? Okay, this time there is a boss fight, and it's exactly as it was in Sonic 1, no weird face. And with that out of the way, it's time for Yes Station. Whoa, Yeth, slow down, you're going way too fast! I don't even know what's going on anymore. 3 Yes Old Zone. I don't even know how to explain this one. There's just these random houses with people in front of them. Eventually the guy has a big head, and then you get to the end and there's like, what's going on? White streak, speeds by. Yes. Finally, we make our way to Yes Zone, what I would assume is the final zone. And it's actually one of the most normal zones so far, which is kinda surprising, honestly. I kind of expected the zone to start with Yeth growing in size and then announcing his plans to run for president. Yeth. A thing you could trust. And finally, Zone. Yeah, I beat the game. I did not expect ROM hacks of Sonic the Hedgehog to put me on such a magical adventure. Again, there are plenty of great ones that I didn't talk about, but something like Yeth is better than great, honestly. There is one final ROM hack I want to talk about. This one is called Sonic 1 at Sage. Sage was actually an expo dedicated to Sonic ROM hacks, so for a more technical treat, this hack instead is just straight up Sonic 1, except it allowed for online leaderboards, though I unfortunately can't get that to work. But there was also this kind of cool feature that allows for custom MP3 music. And you gotta admit, that's pretty cool. I just wish I had some music I can use as an example.
What about now? It's time to rock. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity back bumper. It's time to rock with the biggity back bumper. Bump to the bump to the bump to the bass. Bump to the bump to the bumper. Bump to the bump to the bass. Bump to the bump to the bumper. Bump to the bump to the bump to the.
Roughly 1 year ago, I made a video on wacky and weird Sonic the Hedgehog ROM hacks. And, as it turns out, when I looked for wacky and weird, I found it in spades. Who can forget Sonic in Paint, the lovely and maybe immortal Yeth? And last but certainly not least, Sonic Eggs on Toast, where the rings have been replaced by eggs on toast. I still don't get it. But, yeah, might as well call out the big elephant in the room. I swear you make one little mistake and everyone starts coming after you. Yes, at the time I was not aware that was Mega G-Wolf. I do now. Everyone told me as such. Hopefully, we can now peacefully move on with the rest of the episode. Huh. Despite the fact I'm doing an episode, the phone is ringing, and I'm leaving that in the footage. Must be important. Hello?
Hello, Anthony.
Oh, hey, Mega G-Wolf. What's up? That's actually really good timing you have there. How's it going?
I just figured I'd take this time to finally tell you. John the Anti-Toast? That was me. I was the Anti-Toast.
Yeah, man, I actually was just talking about that like 15 seconds ago before you called.
Oh, really? So, what have you been up to these days?
Goodbye, G-Wolf.
White streak, speed.
The things I do for videos. So, easy to say, it has been very interesting looking at all these different ROM hacks over the last year. And I figured, hey, 2016, Sonic's 25th anniversary, it only makes sense to take a look at some more Sonic ROM hacks. So without further ado, welcome to more Sonic ROM. Oh god, why did it have to be so Mari? Alright, so this one isn't a ROM hack per se, but it needs to be addressed regardless. This is Somari. You may think this is Mario, but no, save yourself the trouble. Somari is an unlicensed pirated port of the original Sonic the Hedgehog, where for some reason, I guess because it's on the NES, you play as this thing. It's not good. Infamous given the hellspawn that is this quote-unquote game, but not good. However, this conversation goes two different ways. On the positive side, here is a legit ROM hack called Somari the Adventurer, an honest attempt at making a Mario level in a Sonic style and have it play well, and I will be damned, it's actually pretty fun. It's only one act before being thrust back into Green Hill Zone, but hey, it's a fun ride while it lasts. But now we go on the other side of the conversation. Here is Sonic Adventure 64, putting Sonic in, well, Mario 64. I have no clue where I am, but I am really tempted to go in that pool. This bomb knows what's up. After exploring around this pool for a little bit, here is Emerald Coast from Sonic Adventure 1. It is very surreal playing this level in this style, and my god, Sonic can even swim. Hackers do, what Sega don't. That doesn't really work. Sadly, the level doesn't have that part where you're being chased by a whale, and only after one fight against King Thwomp, the hack kinda ends. It would honestly be pretty cool if they managed to do more of this in the future, but for now, our Sonic and Mushroom Kingdom fanfictions will have to wait a little bit longer to see reality. Going even further down this rabbit hole, here is Sonic Brothers for the NES. Oh my. Oh dear god. Oh. It is on. Live and learn. Running on the edge of tomorrow. Live and learn on the rocks yesterday. Oh, what? Is that a fence? Back in the first part, I brought up ROM hacks that simply added a different character to Sonic 1, and I joked before about it, but despite being really basic, these are actually some of my favorites. Even more so after playing through the classic game with the likes of Sally Acorn, who can use her shock pistol, a Motobug, because really, why not? And as mentioned before, Dr. Robotnik, which I mean, again, look at this. This is a sin. There's even one where you play as Amy Rose in Sonic 3, and that game rarely ever gets hacked. Honestly, I'm kinda just easy to please. Like here, Sonic 2 S3 Edition. It's Sonic 2 with stage transitions, mid-bosses, and even modified music in some zones Act 2. And it is awesome. I found this really cool hack too, Sonic Classic Heroes, which is a combination of Sonic 1 and 2, where you play as all of Team Sonic at once. The ending has been modified to have Amy pilot the tornado instead of Tails, which doesn't seem safe, but I'll roll with it. And even the Sonic 2 special stages got fixed up, and this is just... I don't know, man, this seems a bit too intense. And if for some reason you wanted to, you can even play as Team Chaotix with the Knuckles Chaotix style of gameplay. But like, does anybody even like Knuckles Chaotix? I don't know, it seems like aside from the music, the game has nothing to offer, but hey, that's bound to upset some of you out there. Classic Heroes definitely slows things down in terms of overall speed, but it is easily one of the best ways to replay the original games, if you want to do so with a fresh twist. So major props to this one. And now, naturally, it's time to take a look at some more alternate characters, because what would a Sonic hack be if regular old Sonic were barely involved? Like here, Kirby in Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, really, welcome to my channel, I'm a huge Kirby fanboy, why not? It's really just Sonic 1, or even Sonic 2 if you prefer, and instead of a spin dash, you have an inhale move. And that's really about it. Kirby really sucks, am I right? How about this one? Ashuro the Badger. You know, it may be just me, but I don't think I can tell the difference now between a badger and a hedgehog. I can't, I got nothing. In all seriousness, the hack is fun and all, and the level design is pretty decent. And don't get me wrong here, I have absolutely nothing wrong with anyone having their own fan character, but it's just, oh my god, Ashuro can actually swim? Okay, I take back any backhanded compliments I was just dishing out. This became amazing. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. Okay, the next one on the list is Atomic Sonic. Okay then. Oh, okay. This is an art style. Ah, listen to that invincibility jingle. It's the classic tune that we all remember. We got one small and kind of bad act. You fight Robotnik. That's it. Let's move on. Baka Sonic. I don't even like Sonic. Baka. All right, here we go. Okay, Sonic, your hair. So what's going on? Let's go. After that whole hair thing, I really wish there was something more interesting going on with this hack, but it is really just a semi-competently made handful of levels with absolutely nothing baka about it. Oh my god, I take it back. Who are you? Okay, Joe Nick, I'm gonna assume that's your name. I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice. I will believe that you are an actual person, but that's fine. You're going down anyway. Yeah! This one looks pretty similar. May as well get it out of the way now. Hana! It looks like Baka Sonic, but purple. Oh boy. Alright, first things first, holy crap, this game is smooth. Like, look at this. The animation in this hack is stunning. How did that happen? We got music from Knuckles Chaotix playing in the background. That's a good sign. After being impressed by the animation the whole time, it's time to take out Robotnik and, whoa, what the? Snow? Oh my god, now is this music from Mega Man 8? This hack went from good to awesome in no time flat. There's a new stage gimmick thrown in as well, which... Okay, I didn't say it was perfect. Hana really pulled out all the stops, but sadly it's only one act. Lame! Okay then, all jokes aside, Hana turned out to be awesome and one of the best ROM hacks I have seen ever. Didn't see that coming. Hopefully we haven't seen the mountaintop quite yet. The next one on the list here is, Pantufa the cat. Pantufa. Okay. Let's see. Let's not. Now, if you have been a Sonic fan for as long as I have, sadly, you may occasionally have the urge to take this little blue blur and just knock some sense into him. That was actually loud, I hope it's okay. Luckily, there is a hack that's just for you. Hedgehog Abuse Simulator. Now, despite what you may think, this is actually a puzzle game of sorts. Using a sort of debug mode, you place all these different spikes that have different properties, and you use them to get Sonic around to areas that he can't get to normally. They all happen to cause Sonic a lot of pain. All the while Tails is there flying around you, and I guess he just is enjoying the scene. That sick freak. Unfortunately, there's not much to this hack either. It's mostly a tech demo, but I will be damned if it's not one of the smartest hacks I've ever seen. Now, if you excuse me... Yes. Yes. Okay, where do we go from here? Okay, Sonic in Colored Zone. This could go one of many different ways. Colored Zone Act 1. Start. Oh no. This is a bunch of colors that just got vomited on the screen at once. I really don't know how to feel about it. Oh! Okay. This hack features a mock speed button. Glad to find that out the hard way. And, now I guess the game is stuck on an endless loop? What's going on here? Okay, maybe not. Huh. Not exactly how I remember the title screen looking, I'll admit. Now this one is right up my alley. Sonic Back to the Future. I've said before, Back to the Future is one of my favorite movies of all time, so of course I had to give this one a shot as soon as I saw the title. It's basically just Green Hill Zone, but look at that, the Sonic CD past and future boxes. Let's hit the past one first. And hey look, it's Master System Sonic. The music is fitting, as is the level design, and even how the end signpost acts when you reach it. And what about the future box? Sonic Advance! Which, by the way, fantastic game that no one talks about. Speaking of good ROM hacks, Sonic Burned Edition. There's a whole new story starting off here with the cutscene showing Dr. Eggman researching these new flame emeralds. They're just the Chaos Emeralds that got cut up a little bit, but that's fine, I'll go with it. As soon as he gets his hands on them, the entire island just starts bursting into flames. Look at Green Hill Zone, entirely in flames, as is Marble Zone, which is kind of ironic considering that was already the lava world, but okay. There's even a whole bunch of new boss battles, which never stops being impressive. So, by any chance, if you wanted to play Sonic 1 as if you were fighting to stop the apocalypse, and who hasn't really, this is the game for you. Alright, we are almost done here. There's only one more hack to look at, and it's one that a lot of you guys kept telling me and telling me and telling me to look at, so for the grand finale, here you go. Sonic the Useful Engine. I don't know, I don't know. Okay, so like, I really don't even know how to explain this. You may remember how Sonic Eggs on Toast replaced sprites with, well, eggs on toast. So like, imagine that, but with nearly everything now resembling Thomas the Tank Engine. Oh, and once you get a single, Thomas coin, I guess, the theme song from the show plays instead of the level theme. There's this monstrosity here, can't forget about that. You collect Thomas Emeralds instead of Chaos, though, to be fair, this is still Chaos. And instead of Dr. Robotnik, you get to fight against the evil Conductor, with this thing as its giant I don't know. Oh, and don't worry, once you complete the game, or cheat like I did, even you can become Thomas. One with Thomas. One with Thomas. One with Thomas. I mean, you guys really wanted me to look at this hack, and I'll admit, it's weird, but I've seen weirder. At the very least, I am totally okay with it being Thomas the Tank, as opposed to its equivalent, JJ the Jet Plane. If you don't remember what that is, oh my god, it's for the better. I don't think anything that we saw today reached the level of absurdity that was Yeth last time, but we definitely saw some weird ones. Wouldn't be a ROM hack episode without it. But that's one of the things I love about ROM hacks, is it doesn't matter what franchise the hack is based on, every time you check one out, it should at the very least be mildly interesting, and by doing so over and over again, you're bound to find some really good gems. Again, if you haven't played Pana or Classic Heroes yet, you should get on that. But, I didn't really come up with an interesting way to end off the episode this time, so bye!
This is Knuckles, and I'm back. I've been away for a while, but I'm back to kick some butt and wild candy. I shall find all the lost pieces of the Master Emerald here. I'm gonna get those.
Jesus, man, screw this lingering sentiment guy. Hello? Hey, isn't that my thing?
Yep, okay, just don't worry about it. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? I hope we got you at a good time. What are you up to?
Yeah, things are going well, just wrapping up Kingdom Hearts 2 for the channel, you know how that goes.
Okay, yeah, true, I got Kingdom Hearts I'm working on in the back burner too. Darkness, am I right?
What do you want?
So, I'm actually starting to work on a third Sonic ROM hack episode, and I figured if you had the time, I could throw one of these hacks your way and get your impression on it.
Oh, okay, well, lay it on me.
Well, you see, the first one is called 137E0 Action 1 Steak. It's a short one-level hack where Green Hill Zone is now filled with gravy instead of water, you collect steaks instead of rings, and when you beat the level it says, here's the beef, which is honestly like the funniest thing ever. And then finally, when you do beat the game, it says you just wasted your time. Oh, and then there's this.
Why do you do this to yourself?
I'll be honest with you, I really don't know.
Alright, well, good luck with that. I'm going back to doing not that. Damn it, I want a steak now.
This was a weird segment. Oh, it's about that time of year once again. Oh no. It's time to take a look at some more Sonic the Hedgehog ROM hacks. This is my third time doing this now. 3 years in a row, that's pretty crazy. And I know some of you are probably thinking, oh man, that's a lot of ROM hacks to talk about. There can't possibly be that many more he could cover. And you would be exactly right. Admittedly, we are getting close to the bottom of the barrel here. I mean, there's not a whole lot more I can talk about. What else should I do? Should I talk about Yeth some more? I mean, what, I could do a 10-minute thesis on the life and times of this stupid white rabbit. Actually, you guys would probably like that, because you're all very sick people. Honestly though, it has been really cool being able to talk about this very niche part of gaming that I truly loved as a kid. While simply playing as, say, Tails in Sonic 1, which is just not an official thing, is cool, it wasn't until I played Sonic Gaiden over 10 years ago when I realized how cool this whole hacking thing is. Back then, I even modded my PSP just so I can play these games on the go.
Yeah! It's a nut you can play with outside!
PSP. It's like a nut you can play with outside.
Good lord, what? Now obviously it's not much nowadays, but the combination of a new playable character in Mighty and new graphics, it really sucked me in. Just like that, boom, a brand new Sonic game for me to play. And speaking of Mighty the Armadillo, so let's just go ahead and lay this out right off the bat. Knuckles Chaotix? Not a good game. Fantastic soundtrack, of course, but that whole ring tether thing, it's not good. So, what if we took that bad mechanic and threw it into Sonic 3? What if, huh? Sonic 3 and Knuckles Chaotix Edition. It is exactly what it sounds like, Sonic 3 with the Chaotix tethering mechanic. Level designs have actually been altered a bit with that mechanic in mind, however, yeah, it's still not that good. I do appreciate the effort. I mean, Sonic 3 doesn't really get nearly enough hacking as it deserves, but man, there is the option to also play this in single player without the tethering thing, and the only benefit of doing that is watching Mighty's arm go crazy and detach from his body. So what say we get to the next hack, huh? One that quite a few people recommended me to check out was S Factor, Sonia and Silver. Yo, you dealing with the S Factor. Huh, really? Sonia and Silver? I mean, we all know Silver. Whether or not that's a good or bad thing is entirely up to you. But damn, Sonia is a very weird choice. Some of you out there must remember Sonic Underground, right? Where Sonic, his brother Manic, and his sister Sonia are on a quest to find their mother and they have to play in an underground band in order to do so? God, the 90s were weird. In terms of the game itself, yeah, it's pretty solid. It's relatively a pretty typical hack that changes up the graphical style and the soundtrack. Sonia has this deadly tornado spin, and Silver has his telekinetic abilities. Aside from those moves though, yeah, it's a Sonic game alright. Not really much to say about this one, except it is pretty fun. It is always appreciated when a hacker goes out of their way to try making a legitimately really good hack. And actually, on a pretty similar note, here we have Sonic Brother Trouble. It is honestly like the same exact idea as the previous one, but instead, it's Sonic and Manic. And the biggest difference being a bit more of a Sonic 2 style of gameplay with your brother following you the whole time, and also like Sonic 2, said partner not really doing much of anything. But in addition, that is, in my opinion, really cool, is a bit of an overworld map. That's something that didn't exist in the original games. And by God, when you play as Manic, at the push of a button, you can throw a drumstick as an attack. That is an actual reference to the whole Sonic family being an underground band thing. God, the 90s were weird. It is a very short hack, with the first act of the second zone very clearly being unfinished, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna be finished anytime soon, so that kinda stinks. But alright now, how about we play a little bit of Sonic Boom? No. It's funny, it's a cute little joke. Can you please put the right title screen up? Whew, there we go, much better. Sonic Boom. Now this one is honestly one of the coolest hacks out there, but it's also one of the worst designed. Sonic Boom attempts to utilize the sort of dark and cool aesthetic of, say, the Sat.AM cartoon. Here you blaze through a mechanical warehouse at breakneck speeds with special moves that just let you go faster. And when you're doing it and doing well, it feels great. However, this hack is beginner's trap incarnate. The sheer amount of obstacles that stop you along your way are off the charts, basically making it impossible to do this without taking any damage. And the bosses are terrible too, with such small opportunities to actually hit them, and any other time, you're gonna get hit instead. But I mean, the music for the first level is the Duke Nukem theme. It's so weird, but it kinda fits. The final level is definitely the highlight though. It is a mad dash out of the warehouse, escaping from a wall of flames that is chasing you, and it is just really cool. The potential for a legitimately darker Sonic world without being obnoxiously edgy is definitely there. It has happened in the past. So even though it is poorly designed, it's nice to see a small glimpse of what that could be. Now, I would be totally remiss if I didn't talk about this next one. You know how basically any character imaginable is now playable within Sonic 1 or 2? Well, what if we took that same mentality and combined it with, say, Yoshi's Island? Oh yeah! This one absolutely blew my damn mind. Oh hey, look at that, it's Sonic 2. Haha, nope, it's Yoshi in Sonic 2. What? Oh my god, what am I even looking at right now? This is the most surreal thing I have ever played. This plays exactly like Yoshi's Island, but it is a legitimate Genesis ROM. It is absolutely crazy that you can just take in a badnik and then turn it into an egg. Also, Baby Sonic. But surely, the special stages are bound to be a bit whoa, dude, what? The special stages from Sonic Advance 3? What? Aw, man, even the fuzzies are here. This ought to be good. Yep, okay. I cannot believe what I'm looking at right now. Everyone, if there is any hack in this video that you need to play, it's this one. It's truly incredible. Man, after that, I really just want to play as another random character in Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, I know! How about a can of Pepsi? Oh boy. It's time to get weird, isn't it? I really don't even know with this one. It's a Sonic 1 hack where you just play as a can of Pepsi. You got these enemies here, and I'm pretty sure they're just weird looking cats. Oh, and hey, why not? We're already far down this rabbit hole. Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius! What? Oh, and don't you worry your pretty little head. Boy Wonder Pepsi Man is here to save the day with a nice refreshing can of sparkling goodness. Hashtag not sponsored, I promise. Alright, I really forgot how weird these hacks can be. Now this one I had to try simply because of the name. Cooler Sonic in Sonic 3. I mean, to be fair, Sonic is pretty cool, right? I mean, look at him. He's got a brand deal with soap shoes. He must be cool. How can he be any cooler? Oh, okay, I take it back. Look how cool he is now. This one, this hack seriously just changes his animations to quote unquote make him cooler. Even tossing in a bit of a pose when he bounces off a spring. Does that make him cooler? You're damn right it does. And you see, that was ultimately the problem with Sonic 3. His feet went in a circular motion. Now you make it an oval, and boom, like 20% cooler. This one, this is one for the record books. Actually, you know what? Forget this. How about we play some good old standard Sonic 1 to bring us back down to reality, huh? And he's off! He's the fastest thing alive! Now this next one is not even all that weird per se, I just gotta give the hacker some props. Dr. Robotnik's Plan B. It is just a series of brand new boss fights. New battles have been done in ROM hacks in the past, but it really just goes to show how versatile Sonic 1 can be. It turns out it's pretty common to take the game that you thought you knew and completely turn it on its head. And speaking of that mentality, crazy Sonic. Why did you guys ask me to play this? So there is an actual unofficial Genesis game released in Venezuela called Crazy Bus. In it, you move a bus back and forth, you honk a horn. That's it. Oh, it's good. Great. Awesome. Outstanding. Amazing! So, of course, somebody took that and was like, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh boy, you gotta love that music. Well, despite all of the adversity, I managed to beat the level. I even got myself into the special stage. Let's see what we have here. Rolling around at the speed of... Oh god, please end this. Why is this a thing? I hate all of you. Now, before we wrap things up, I quickly want to talk about some hacks that I did cover in the past, but have since actually been improved. You may remember Pantufa the Cat, a hack that I actually didn't play because, sorry, I didn't really trust the way the cat looked at me. That was the joke. It turns out there is a newer version of this game and holy crap. This is somehow a hack of Sonic the Hedgehog. This is incredible. The animation, so smooth. The art style, pretty great. The music, pretty good too. This is honestly super impressive. You know what? I feel bad for making fun of this hack before, and it crashed. Well. Secondly, major props to what was previously known as Sonic Burned Edition, now titled Sonic Scorched Quest. This is that one hack where everything is on fire! The original that I played before was basically a beta, and while this still isn't 100% completed yet, there are more levels, basically the entire game is playable. Some of the level designs have been tweaked. It looks much better graphically, such as Sonic being color adjusted to match the fact that everything around him is on fire! And there's even a fight with Metal Sonic that uses his theme song from Sonic 4 Episode 2, which was like the only good thing about that game. I probably just made some of you guys mad. It is what it is. And because really, why not? The special stages are the ones from Sonic 1 Master System. It's very, very random, but really cool all the same. This is really just a good hack made better, so I had to give it a little plug. It's really, really good. And man, even Somari got an improvement. You remember this? Nightmare? There is legitimately now a hack of Somari that turns the character into Sonic and fixes the controls to make it smoother. Now don't get me wrong, it's still not that good, but it's definitely a lot better than what it was. It's actually kinda playable now. And it actually just hit me. This is a ROM hack of an unlicensed NES ROM, which initially put you through Sonic's world as Mario, but basically called him Sonic, and now put Sonic back in Sonic's world, but it's also on the NES, which is just a weird thing since that never would have been a thing in the first place. What just happened? Hell, even Knuckles' Emerald Hunt got improved. This was already a really cool and original idea, but now there's more musical choices, a playable Tikal, and even a competition mode for 2 players. It is obviously one of the most unique takes on the classic Sonic formula, and it is just as fun as ever. Man, you guys, there are just so many good ROM hacks out there. Ah, man. I'll just be honest with you guys. Now I just want to play more games as Knuckles. Knuckles in Sonic 1. Knuckles in any level of Sonic Adventure DX. Knuckles in Sonic Colors. Knuckles in Sonic Generations. Knuckles in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles. Finally, the game that we've all been waiting for. As Knuckles, you and your sidekick Knuckles go on a massive adventure to stop the evil Dr. Knuckles and his stooge, Knuckles. Can the duo of Knuckles and Knuckles get past Knuckles to stop Dr. Knuckles from taking over the world? Well, who knows? Rhetorical question, Knuckles knows! And that's right, the title has "and Knuckles" in there. That means you can play as Knuckles. Here I come, rougher than the rest of them, the Okay, alright, I think I definitely just went overboard there. It's time to definitely call this quits. We're gonna wrap this up now. Thank you guys for watching me do this now for 3 years. That's pretty crazy. I have a stake with my name on it, and just for my final words, oh no. You probably should have seen that coming. With the release of Sonic Mania Plus and the Encore Mode DLC, as well as the conclusion of Sonic Mania Adventures, I guess the saga of Sonic Mania is officially over. Ha! Nope. You all know this, not only was Sonic Mania released on console, it was also released on PC. We've been in this position once, twice, 3 times before. When you open up an official Sonic game to the fanbase, the floodgates open, and they open wide. For the last 3 years now, I've taken a look at ROM hacks of the original Sonic games. A bunch of good, a bunch of weird, but this year we're doing something pretty different. Much like how that Mania elevator skips right over Sonic 4, for the best by the way, I'm gonna do the same. Let's take a look at some Sonic Mania mods. So, a quick disclaimer, we are still really early in the life of Sonic Mania, therefore, you're really not gonna see a ton of wacky and crazy stuff that you may think you're gonna see. Now, maybe in a few years, we're gonna see some wacky and crazy stuff that we can't even possibly imagine right now, but at the moment, we're just gonna see a bunch of neat ideas, and a very, very cool mod at the end of this video. Stay tuned for that. As for now, let's get started. Similar to some of the more basic Sonic ROM hacks out there are plenty of mods that simply swap out the characters with others. Good old classic Amy. She doesn't have any special moves at the moment, but it's still neat to see. I actually think she would have been a perfect fit for the official Sonic Mania cast with her hammer ability and all that, but this is the next best thing, I guess. Here we got Metal Sonic, and ooh, he looks so good. I always thought that Metal Sonic was a great character, and it's nice to see this mod giving him some love. His sprite in blue spheres was even changed, great detail. But then I wonder who replaces the Metal Sonic boss fight now. Oh. Huh, apparently there's a Metal Sonic 3.0 from Sonic Rivals 2? Okay, yeah, sure, why not? If Sega's never gonna acknowledge him again, someone has to. Oh my god, it's Sonic. Oh hey, we can't forget about Shadow, the ultimate life form. Why not? Again, it's just unique animations for now, unfortunately, but I am pretty excited for when someone manages to get gunplay into Mania. That'd be sick. Dr. Eggman, huh? Oh, this doesn't bode well. Oh, he's voice acted. Joy. Oh, we're about to see Eggman go super. I don't think I'm ready for this. Get a load of this. Oh. Okay, yeah. Uh-huh. This is exactly what I've needed in my life. Okay, so of course, Big the Cat had to become an option as well. Oh. Oh. Okay, no, I really don't think I'm comfortable with this. I think I need an adult. Oh man, look at him go. Even the save select screen is terrifying. Why would I want to play as him? Now, not all of the character mods out there are that bare bones. There are some that are more fleshed out than just a simple sprite swap. Aw snap, look at this, we got Hatsune Miku in the house, Japanese idol sensation, and Sega character apparently. This one actually has a new story with brand new art to accompany it. Okay, so Miku gets teleported into Sonic's dimension during one of her concerts, and evil CEO wants to take over the world. Sonic is nowhere to be seen. Go. One of Miku's official costumes is actually a Sonic one, so this canonically makes sense. The mod then goes on to just be Sonic Mania, but hey, points for an original concept. But this is what led to my surprised face. Once I got into Chemical Plant Zone, the music then became a blend of the original music remixed with some Vocaloid tracks. So here's a bit of an inside scoop on the good old AntDude here. I actually really like those Hatsune Miku Project Diva rhythm games and how overly ridiculous Japanese they are. So hearing some of the more catchy songs remixed in with Sonic music was oddly satisfying. I approve. And then the game becomes a giant Dominoes meme. I take it all back. Of course, Mario had to show up too. He can't let anyone have the spotlight for more than 20 minutes, that guy. So here in Mario Mania, you get to play as the Mario Bros, as they collect coins, and yes, actually coins and not rings that people constantly accidentally call coins, and they tackle a ton of Mario enemies in familiar Sonic locations. It's kinda surreal, honestly. From start to finish, it's just weird to watch. And then Wario's there too, replacing Knuckles. I didn't know Wario could do that. We're like approaching Somari levels here. I really don't know how to feel about this. Actually, there's another mod out there called Sonic Mania Extended that takes the idea of a playable Mario and really expands on it. The animations are a whole lot better, and he even has a ground pound now. Ah, damn it. The mod also includes a modern Sonic playable character, and his gimmick is he can use the boost. And this is actually super cool. We've seen classic Sonic throw into the modern style before, and now we see the reverse of that. I'm okay with this. So this mod was actually pretty annoying to set up. For some reason, some of the more advanced mods out there, for some people, it just works immediately, and for some people, it's hell to even think about working. What's interesting though is that we already have mods that change the mechanics of how this game plays. That's kind of amazing. I was joking before about Shadow having gunplay, but that's actually a possibility now. Be careful what you wish for, I suppose. This one's pretty special. This one just simply has Knuckles say "oh no" every time he gets hit. Oh no. That's 10 out of 10, best mod. And now we move on to new level mods, which fall into two categories, kinda. First up, we got a bunch of levels just ported from other games. Some slightly modified, some mostly unaltered. And since I've basically played all of these before, I didn't think that these would be all that neat. I figured they would be unnecessary since they're already what I'm used to. But Mania controls so well and everything moves so smoothly that it still felt really good. Some aspects of some of the levels did get changed to fit Mania a little bit better, but that is hardly anything worth complaining about. My favorite ones of the bunch were the ports of the Game Gear stages. Those original games controlled a lot slower than this, so seeing these locations reimagined was pretty cool. Nothing can save Labyrinth Zone though. Boy, that stage is still crap. The best one of these that I've seen though thus far has to go to a recreation of Sonic Advance 2. You see, the original game was a bit of a turning point in the franchise where it was the first game that really felt like classic Sonic and modern Sonic blended together, emphasizing speed over platforming while not forgetting the platforming entirely. And considering how well Mania plays, it is actually a surprisingly solid fit. At the moment, things are a bit rough, but it is a pretty fresh mod. I am really looking forward to seeing more of this in the future. And naturally, totally new levels were bound to start popping up too. You wanna start off a bit weird? Here's Mushroom Kingdom Zone. Naturally, this one had to be played with Mario. Don't worry about some of the visual glitches. With this one, it kinda goes to show that Sonic gameplay doesn't really work well with Mario level design. Moving on, Egg Loco Zone, a totally new level based on the train from Mirage Saloon. There's really nothing overly impressive here, but you know what? It is still a new level. I approve. I got all the way to the end pretty easily, and then the game just locks up. And some say Sonic is still wagging his finger on the top of that train to this day. Of all the new levels that I found, not every one is that great. Space Construction Zone. Yeah, no, this is one of those. Props for the idea. The idea of a construction site in the middle of space, that's kind of neat. But, ooh. Oh, okay, now this one is really cool. Whiteboard Blast. A level that looks like it was drawn entirely in pencil. It's a really cool graphical style that sorta harkens back to that Sonic Mania trailer, but unfortunately at the moment it's just kind of a modified Green Hill, and the levels are very, very short, but it seems super promising for the future. Honestly guys, that's just where we're at now. You got a bunch of really neat ideas that still need some time to flesh out since we are very early in Sonic Mania's life. The future looks nice and bright for the Sonic Mania fan community. That's awesome. But I can't end things off here without talking about one specific mod that I was fortunate enough to get some never before seen footage of. You may have heard of this one around Twitter and stuff like that, but let me introduce you guys to Sonic Gaiden. Guys, where do I even begin here? This mod looks fantastic. So, Sonic Gaiden, which does share the name of the first ROM hack I ever played, by the way, I just think that's kind of neat, is set to be the first ever full-on Sonic Mania mod. You got an entirely new soundtrack, brand new levels using brand new themes, and even some new animations just to sweeten the deal. And yeah, it may sound like whatever if that was just all talk, but you can see it for yourself. This looks great. I really love the backgrounds for these crystal stages. I'll be damned. I'm excited to play a water stage. Now at the moment, there is actually no playable demo out there, but if you are interested, and you should be, you go follow Sonic_Gaiden on Twitter for updates. You will not regret it. So yeah, that is the extent of the first year of Sonic Mania and mods. Who knows what the future has in store for you? We already have Sonic Gaiden, and that's gonna be really, really cool. But when you really dive deep into it, man, we're gonna see some crazy stuff. You never know what to expect when it comes to Sonic Mania. Really, a text? Okay. There's one mod you forgot about. There's a mod for Sonic Mania that includes... No. No. Oh dear God, why? Yep, that's him. All right. Oh God, oh no, I can feel it. I can feel it coming. White streak. Speeds by. Yeth. To something for, I don't even, Yeth. He's that thing, I guess. He's, why? Guys, why? Why is this the thing again? I did not mean for this to happen. Why is Yeth still around in 2018? I don't want this. I never wanted this. I regret everything. Well, you know what they say, Sonic's never really been the same since his jump to 3D. It's that time of year once again, everyone. For no real reason, at some point in July for the last 4 years, I've taken a look at ROM hacks from the Sonic franchise. I saw the wacky, the weird, some top tier stuff as well, and we can't forget about those fun times. And consistently, on a year-by-year basis, we continue to see developments being made in the realms of Genesis Sonic as well as Sonic Mania. And we'll continue to see plenty from all of those games going forward, but it's about time we take a look at what the fans have done with 3D Sonic. Ever since Sega started dropping Sonic games on Steam, that was it, man. The floodgates were opened. They're harder to develop for, and it's a bit more complicated to get set up, but I'm happy to report that I have 3 core Sonic games here that have plenty of experiences to check out today. Oh boy. Sonic Adventure, Adventure 2, and Generations. These are the games that we're going to be checking out today. Now, those aren't the only Sonic games on PC, but the other options are pretty limited when it comes to mods. Like, you can play as Classic Sonic in Sonic 4 Episode 2, which is neat. the game is still garbage though. Sonic Adventure Director's Cut. I played this game so much growing up. It's like objectively really bad, but I still love it all the same. However, over time, I learned that the purists, I guess I'll call them, swear by the original Dreamcast version over the DX port. Well, there is a Dreamcast conversion mod that changes all of the aesthetics to match that of the original version. And yeah, I'm a big fan. Character models, textures, even the lighting are attempting to make this feel as close to the original version as possible, and it is great stuff. After playing Director's Cut and this mod back to back, I totally prefer these stubbier looking designs here. And in some instances here, man, the colors are just way better. I'll still hold SADX on the GameCube close to my heart with nostalgia, but on PC, yeah, this is absolutely the way to play the game now in my opinion. And hey, at least the Steam version came with widescreen. You remember when they released this on PS3 and 360 and it didn't have widescreen? Bunch of dummies. Aside from that one, most of the mods that I found are pretty minimal and come down to mainly a simple character skin. Like here we have Sonic looking like his modern appearance in Sonic Forces. Adventure 2 Sonic is also an option, which is really surreal to watch. Naturally, this means that the hero models are available as well, and even a fully ported over Seaside Hill, that's pretty cool. And then we... Oh no, I don't like this. Yep, sweet dude, that's just what Sonic Adventure needed. Nightmare fuel. I mean, at this point, I guess, why not? What if we played as the dolls from that one stage that you played as Gamma instead of the real thing? Cool. Oh, and it changes the cutscenes too. Fantastic. I hate it so much. Can we get something just a little bit more wholesome here? Like as soon as possible, please? Beautiful. Alrighty then, so your guess is as good as mine as to why Knuckles stole Amy's dress, but let's be honest here. The red on red really works for him. Looking good, Knux. Some really cool stuff has been made though. For instance, the Windy Valley stage that we got in the final product is totally different than how it was in the beta. And, well, we get to experience it in this recreation. It is so surprisingly different than what we got in the actual game, at least in terms of size. The stage is massive and offers some more non-linear progression than what we're used to in Adventure. It's actually super refreshing being able to play such a large, sprawling level with this game's controls. They fit together perfectly. This is mostly a neat novelty and pretty cool for historical purposes. I love this mod. And then, you know, we could also have Crisis City because despite everyone hating Sonic06, nobody actually wants that game to die. So here we go. This is a fun level for the most part, and I guess if anything, I can appreciate fans trying to make Sonic06 more playable. Honestly, that would be cool if all of the levels from that game got ported over to the better engine here. I mean, 06 was already basically Sonic Adventure 3, right? So it'd be perfect. Hey, real quick, do Sonic fans still get upset when you call Sonic06 Sonic Adventure 3? They do? Okay, cool. By far, the best mod out there is the recently released Sonic, Shadow, and Metal Sonic mod Gameplay Overhaul. That rolls right off the tongue. Rather than trying to simply touch up the original game, this mod takes the three named characters and gives them radically different play control. Sonic now has his modern boosting ability, Shadow gains Knuckles' hand-to-hand combat, as well as the ability to use the Chaos Energy attacks from his own game, even the Chaos Blast, and for Metal Sonic, well, he can take advantage of different Chaos Emeralds for various powers, on top of the ability to just straight up fly. You can even turn super mid-stage too. How cool is that? It's not exclusive to this mod. One of the more common mods for Sonic Adventure is being able to turn super whenever you want, but it comes built into this one, so that's pretty cool. But something like this makes me think that we are still just scratching the surface of what the modding community has in store for us. Sonic Adventure DX on Steam is going to be something to keep your eye on going forward, I'm promising you. As for Sonic Adventure 2, well, things are a little bit more sparse there. I guess for whatever reason, the first adventure is simply easier to work with, allowing the modders to let their freedom run wild. However, with this sequel... Alrighty then. Okay, either we've hit the bottom of the barrel here, or we have struck comedy gold. Yeah, okay, sure, now every character has decided to dress up in Rouge's outfit. I feel incredibly dirty for even looking at this. But to be fair, as expected going in, it certainly made the final battle a bit more interesting. Since in his levels, Tails only shows up in his mech, this only pops up in the Chow Garden. However, there is one more character left to test out. Please, 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 please. Okay. Yoshi.
Yosh.
Researching mods for Sonic Adventure 2 resulted in a lot of them that were purely aesthetic. There's a winter theme for City Escape, Sonic Unleashed inspired Chow Gardens, the old Halloween and Christmas costumes that the characters used to dress up in during that time of year in the Dreamcast version. Damn, the Dreamcast really did a lot of cool things back then. And if you love Amy Rose, well, I'm more than happy to report that with Amy Adventure 2, the gang is all here and accounted for. And what would a good sequel be without some continuity? If Rouge's outfit was just a bit too much for you, Knuckles can, once again, don Amy's dress instead. Listen here, I'm not saying that this should be in every Sonic game going forward, but I'm also not against it either. These costume changes are really all that this game has going for it at the moment though. Emerald Coast from Sonic Adventure 1 did get ported over, which is pretty cool, but it's the only super notable level mod out there at the moment, at least as far as I know. And I gotta tell you, if SA2 Sonic in SA1 wasn't surreal enough, this will really throw you for a loop. Did you get it? Cause Sonic has a lot of loops. Haha. I'll be honest, I'm pretty surprised that Sonic Adventure 2 doesn't really have a ton of mods going for it. I would have thought otherwise. Who knows what the future will bring us? Maybe in a few years we'll see a ton of crazy stuff. But for now, this is all I was really able to dig up. Oh wait, hold on, I forgot one. Omo Chow Edition. Oh no. Oh boy, just what I needed. Omo Chow to return and destroy my life and consume my soul. Absolutely perfect. Can we move on to Generations now? The Sonic Generations modding community, holy cow. Since this game was the first in a while to gain a ton of consistent praise from players, plus it released on PC at the same time as consoles, it gained an audience really quickly, and after a few years, Generations now provides the most modded content out there for a single Sonic game. Since the gameplay style from modern Sonic is so strong, fans have taken it upon themselves to port and remaster stages from previous games to fit into its style. Now I've already gone over the Unleashed project, a full port of every single daytime level from Sonic Unleashed, and I am a huge fan of it. But man, it really didn't take long to see that really no Sonic game was safe here. You got multiple levels from Sonic Colors, Camelot Castle from Black Knight, Metal Harbor from Sonic Adventure 2, Grand Metropolis from Sonic Heroes, a take on Splash Hill from Sonic 4 of all games, which is actually one of the more enjoyable ones out there. Mystic Cave Zone from Sonic 2 is available with Classic Sonic, which is pretty cool. And amazingly, once again, Sonic06 content got ported over as well, and like, it's really good. On top of being able to use the Sonic model from that game, which is, that's just bizarre. The speed section from Wave Ocean feels better now than it ever has before. And the rest of that level did get ported over as well, but to the classic style, and it's really fun. Any set piece that you can think of from that original level got treated perfectly in the transition to this side-scrolling format. But to be fair, the levels mentioned thus far don't come up to the sheer quality of the stuff that Sega made for the game, but it does sort of show the potential of just what they could have done if they thought outside the box a little bit more with their level choices. This is most emphasized in a port of Kingdom Valley. This is one of the newer mods out there, and the attention to detail provided from start to finish in this stage is ridiculous. This actually feels like it's an official product, as if Sega went crazy and announced a remake of Sonic06. The mod is that good. Also, Sega, please don't do that. There are a lot of parts to this stage that blur the line between a straight up port and a level inspired by the original, which is just how the core game was. It's a consistently fun ride all the way through, and like halfway in, a mini cutscene with Silver happens, and I didn't even know that was possible in Generations. Man, when creative modders really put their heart and soul into a project, we get some fantastic stuff. The levels we've looked at so far have been awesome. What else do we have to look forward to? Shoulda known. Super Mario Bros. 1-1, huh? Okay, it was bound to happen eventually, I guess. Truthfully, I'm not even surprised. A game with a level editor or modding support that doesn't include Mario 1-1? Ha! I don't think that exists. But hey, aside from classic Mario, even Mario Kart got some love. Now this one's pretty cool. Rainbow Road Medley. You basically play through multiple generations of Rainbow Road, from the hellscape known as Rainbow Road Super Nintendo, then you go to 64, Double Dash after that, and wrapping up with the Wii version. And that's just a damn cool idea, man. Sonic games are practically single-player racers anyway. This fits in perfectly. Realistically, most of the level mods available here are really solid. The only odd one that I encountered was GameCube Galaxy? Huh. It was enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but it's mostly just a mishmash of level objects with GameCube symbols just tossed everywhere. It's so dumb and ridiculous, and sometimes I couldn't ask for much more. I did want to give a special highlight to two specific mods though, two more original levels based on existing games. First up, we have Sky Troops from Shadow the Hedgehog. Aesthetically, this feels pretty on par to what the original was all about, aside from, well, you know, the whole alien invasion and guns thing, but aside from that, this is simply a really fun stage, which is fitting because it was one of the better stages from that game, so it works out. And then Water Palace from Sonic Rush also got a similar treatment. Now yeah, this stage was in the 3DS version. Remember that there was a 3DS version? But here, a lot of the ideas got to be shown off on a grander scale. This is a really enjoyable 3D Sonic stage where a lot of it takes place underwater. I know, shocking. Sonic Generations on PC has become the hotspot for reimagining the entirety of Sonic's history, and I sincerely hope that this trend continues on in the future. This is awesome stuff. I mean, Lost Valley from Forces is even playable in Generations now. Once again, nothing off limits. And we've only just merely touched upon the levels available for this game. What else do we have to play with? Aw, sick, man. My favorite Sonic character. Mickey the Mouse. Hey now, I'm plenty aware that everybody has been clamoring for the Sonic and Mickey collaboration that's gonna set the world on fire, but I'll be honest, I don't see the appeal. Oh wow, what? Instead of a skateboard, he skates on a giant Mickey head. I take it back, I'm totally sold. Oh no, it's my evil doppelganger, glitchy monochrome Mickey. Oh no. What happened? Alright, I don't know how I screwed up. I definitely did something wrong here. But it feels so right. Here's an interesting one, Super Mario Generations. Finally, now classic Mario and modern Mario can run through levels from Sonic's past. Oh boy, so Mario's back everyone, I'm so excited! This is absolutely bizarre, man, though it does speak for itself. It's just something that I can barely wrap my head around. You're actually collecting coins now, not rings. That's so weird! I think I need something just a bit more my speed. Yep, there we go. Mario in Sonic's outfit. Oh boy, this is something. This is very indicative of my interests in ROM hacks and mods, to be honest, because I am way more likely to play this than like anything else. The reality here is when you're not looking for level mods, this is what we have to play around with. Characters that you never expected to play as, fully playable. And I know everyone out there has been asking for total control of Professor Pickle, and here you go. Oh, and thank goodness there's an Omochow edition as well. Cool. I can already hear them taunting me in my dreams. Happy early Halloween to me. This is the scariest thing ever. The modding scene for Adventure and Generations is ridiculous. We got plenty of good stuff and plenty of wacky stuff. And with that, I can sort of draw parallels to Sonic 1 and 2 when it comes to ROM hacks, which is pretty cool. Going forward, man, I'm sure with those two games and Sonic Adventure 2 included, we're gonna see some really, really cool stuff. But of course, we can't end with that. Don't worry, I was definitely doing research on the other two main Sonic games available on Steam as well. Yes, Lost World and Forces have mods too. Just not much. You can play through Beta Windy Valley and Lost World, that's pretty cool. Green Grove from 3D Blast is also there, that's really sick actually, the playstyle totally works for it. And like clockwork at this point, Wave Ocean is there too. Sonic06 will never die. And when we look at Sonic Forces, Emerald Coast got the port treatment, that's pretty cool, as did Westopolis from Shadow. It's actually pretty genius using the speed of Sonic and the gunplay of the Avatar character for a Shadow the Hedgehog stage. Wow, that works out really, really well. Oh, I love this one so much. You can play as Sonic from Sonic R, and now I 100% want a new Sonic game in a polygonal art style. If Mario and Crash can get away with it, come on, it's Sonic's time to do this too. And last, but certainly not least, you can play as a pineapple. Yep, a pineapple. Watch out, Eggman, here comes a spiky acidic fruit. Sadly, no, I couldn't find any Yeth mods for a 3D Sonic game. I tried really hard. Who knows, maybe sometime down the line we'll get one, but for now, doesn't exist. I'm so sorry? But as for Pineapple Forces, well, this leads to an interesting discussion here. You see, I'm not really that big of a fan of Sonic Forces. I actually really don't like that game. However, if we retool it to have a fruit be the one going out to save the world, we may have something there. I think this answers the age-old question. Yes, pineapple does indeed belong on pizza. I mean on Sonic. Picture this, you're in the middle of a computer classroom in the mid-2000s, and you also have an unhealthy obsession with Sonic the Hedgehog, and word gets around that you're able to satisfy said obsession while in said classroom. Oh man, I had totally blocked this out of my memory for years. Dude, Ultimate Flash Sonic, holy cow. Some people may be out of the loop on this whole thing, but for many, including myself, this is a pretty big symbol of our childhood. Nowadays, it may not be all too special, you know, it's a simple Sonic-styled adventure with only 2 zones and a few playable characters, but this is way more than the sum of its parts. We got plenty of unlockable extras and cheat codes. Every time you finish the playthrough with one character, you'll unlock another, which really encourages multiple playthroughs. But more impressive than that, this was made by one person and was uploaded onto Newgrounds all the way back in 2004. That's crazy. This released before Sonic Advance 3. That's like a million years ago, give or take a few. And this is my very first experience with a Sonic fan game. For about 5 years now, we've sort of stumbled onto a bit of a yearly tradition where we take a look at Sonic ROM hacks, mods, all that kind of stuff. And now, for the 5-year anniversary, we're gonna go full circle and dive into the world of pure fan games. For clarification, yes, of course, ROM hacks and mods are also made by fans. Well, presumably fans at least, dedicating this much time to pump out some of the things that I've seen while also hating on what you're working on wouldn't really make a ton of sense. But this is Sonic after all, never make assumptions. The world of pure fan games is a whole lot more vast. I want to highlight some of the works that stand out on their own and don't necessarily rely on existing game files to get going. And there is absolutely no way I'm going to be able to cover every single interesting one out there. Have you ever Googled the phrase Sonic fan games? Well, if you want a good way to distract yourself until the end of time, then yeah, that's a good way to do it. We got some good, some ambitious, and some not so good. Let's cut the chit-chat because we got a lot of ground to cover. For the longest time, whenever I heard the phrase Sonic fan games, a few titles would always immediately come to mind, before the sequel and after the sequel. What we have here are a pair of games that are not only based on classic Sonic, but are also interpretations of adventures that take place before Sonic 2 and after Sonic 2, attempting to fill in the story in between the 3 main Genesis games. Oh man, we even have cutscenes too! Awesome little animated scenes that tie everything together, and it is such a cool touch. Both games feature them, but I couldn't watch them in the first game for some reason. It just kept crashing when I loaded one up, but I believe they're probably cool. We got original art styles, plenty of new gimmicks, really fun boss fights at the end of all of the zones, and some damn good music as well. Like, holy cow, even the menu music to after the sequel is fantastic. This was all done years before Sega themselves attempted to capitalize on the classic Sonic market. So with how enjoyable these games are, it is very apparent that they were all made with total love. I love it. Yeah man, these games are great. If you're on the lookout for fan-made Sonic games that are super reminiscent of the Genesis titles, look no further than these. There is technically a third game here called Chrono Adventure, which changes things up quite a bit, but I think we'll save this for another time. I only played it for like 10 minutes and it is way more different than you would expect. But if you want another side-scrolling Sonic fan game, I was also recommended Time Twisted as well. And 2 seconds in, I can totally see why. Dude, this sprite work is like super good. A lot of the stuff I said about before and after the sequel can be applied here as well. We have really good level design, super catchy music, and a unique take on the time travel mechanic from Sonic CD. But in this game, the jumps to the past and future happen nearly instantaneously. I really like this one. At its core, it is just a really simple and fun 2D Sonic game, and That's totally fine by me. This one has cutscenes to tell a story as well, and sometimes they lead directly into boss fights. Man, that transition was super smooth. Nice. Oh, whoa, what do we have here? Special stages based on racing Metal Sonic? Yo, Time Twisted did the racing special stage before Sonic Mania did. That's pretty crazy. If I were to directly compare this to before and after the sequel, I would say Time Twisted isn't as good, but this one does play in widescreen, and that right there gets major points in my book. Oh god, why are we here? Sonic06 is a bad game. Thank you for watching my original Sonic content. But okay, hold on here. This may seem like Sonic06 as you would normally expect it, but the crazy thing is this is actually part of a fan project set to port the game to PC. At this point in time, there have been multiple demos released, and most of the stuff from Sonic's campaign is now included, and I'll be damned, it's pretty much perfect. For as perfect as Sonic06 can be anyway, and considering the original game never released on PC and this isn't being played on an emulator, this is wild that it even exists. It even works with an ultra widescreen resolution, and I gotta tell you, that extra screen real estate does wonders for a Sonic game. Who's to say if, in time, the entire game makes its way to PC, but hey, if Sega themselves won't do it, someone else will. You know this is gonna lead to a massive snowball effect. Eventually, Unleashed will make its way to PC, so will Sonic Colors, and then all will be right in the world and will be in the best timeline. And actually, while I'm on this topic, I found an entire lineup of fan games dedicated to modernizing and remastering other existing Sonic games and have them playable on PC. We got Sonic 2 HD with beautiful new artwork and animations and excellent remixes of the already fantastic soundtrack. Then we have Sonic Advanced Revamped, greatly expanding the screen size of the GBA Classic, which that alone is awesome. But on top of that, it also introduces brand new characters to play as with unique playstyles that fit in surprisingly well. Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited takes an official copy of the game like you can purchase from Steam and finally gives you the widescreen update that we have all been asking for years, with plenty of additions on top of it. While I guess this also technically constitutes a ROM hack, I'm just gonna throw it in here anyway because hey, it's really cool and I'm not doing a ROM hack episode this year. I mean, hell, you can even install mods in this one. We're covering all the bases here. I found a PC version of the Master System Sonic 1 that got the widescreen treatment, which honestly, that alone makes the game playable in my opinion. I never got used to the smaller screen space of the original. I can happily say as a result of this port, I have beaten this game for the first time ever. It may not be an official version of the game, but I'm still gonna count it. The Master System Sonic 2 is getting a similar treatment as well, with a bunch of extra playable characters on top of it that all play like you would expect them to, which is wild because the original game only had Sonic. Extra playable characters are in the port of Sonic 1 as well, but here they're unlocked from the start. The only way to access them in that first game is by like making really good times on all of the stages, and I am not good for that at all, so thankfully I have to put in no effort to play as Shadow in Master System Sonic 2. And that is a sentence I never thought I would say out loud. There's something really awesome about taking these classics and polishing them up with a bunch of modern additions while also not messing with that game's original style. Sonic Advance is really cool, but Sonic Advance with less screen crunch and more characters is even cooler. There's even full-blown remakes in the works as well. First up here we have Sonic Chaos, and I mean man, just look at the title screen here. This alone is incredible, the animation is stellar. Essentially, what we have here is a Sonic Mania version of Sonic Chaos, one of the better games on the Game Gear. This is only a demo so far, but what's on display here is so well done. It goes to show that there are so many parts of Sonic's handheld legacy that deserve the same love and treatment that some of the console games get. Yeah, that's right, you think Sonic Chaos is the only one being represented here? Nah man, boom, Sonic Triple Trouble. Stylistically, this one is definitely closer to Sonic 3 than Sonic Mania, but man, this was really fun too. It's all about the slight tweaks to the established themes and the occasional original gimmick that really made those 8-bit classics stand out. And seeing them more fleshed out in the Genesis era style is really cool. Also, we got Fang the Sniper in the house, so I want more of whatever these developers are serving. I even found this one fan game that tries to take Sonic 3D Blast and convert it into a side-scroller. Definitely an admirable take. Some of the gimmicks do make the transition over pretty smoothly, but I think in an attempt to still feel like 3D Blast, the level designs just don't really work as well when you're trying to run through them as fast as possible. I still really like the concept though. Genesis Sonic is such a beloved formula. The more classics that get made into that format, the better. Except Sonic Blast. You can leave that one to rot. I think everyone will be fine with that. Oh wait, hold on. We got more Fang in 3D and 2D. Fang's right there. Okay, I'm totally on board. Now these remakes and remasters, they're not completed yet. Who's to say whenever they will hit the finish line? But from what I've seen and from what I've played, I will say I am very excited for whenever any of these games do hit a completed state. I mean, hell, at this point, let's take Sonic Shuffle and turn it into a 2D game. Why not? There's clearly no rules anymore. Works in progress are pretty much the lifeline that keeps the Sonic fan game train chugging along. There may not be a ton of completed fan games out there, but some of the stuff that's in the works that may or may not be completed at some point in the future, that's where a lot of the gold is. Recently, some 3D tech demos hit the internet, and man, let me tell you, you give some people creative freedom and powerful enough computers, and they can produce some of the coolest stuff the franchise has ever seen. The one I immediately fell in love with was Project Hero. This is just a really big playground with a 3D Sonic that, in my opinion, controls way better than many of the official Sonic games out there. Whether or not a full game comes out of this remains to be seen, but man, just running around this world doing absolutely nothing is way more addicting than I expected it to be. And taking a little look at the potential future for this project with these damn fine models being worked on, I gotta tell you, I am super excited for whatever comes our way. And of course, the same exact thing can be said for Sonic Utopia. Similarly, we have another absolutely massive playground, this time based on Green Hill and classic Sonic. The momentum-based physics you have in your control is so satisfying, and some of the massive jumps you can pull off to then be rewarded with these awesome views of the landscape, it is so damn good. Again, I don't know how much of an actual game you can make out of something like this, but I also spent like a half hour running around doing nothing worth of value besides running around, so you tell me whether or not this is worth expanding upon. Now going more towards the untraditional side of things, here we have Sonic Bold. I don't know, man, that's just a weird way of saying Super Mario Bros, but with Sonic characters instead, but okay. Oh man, I take it back, it's not even just Sonic here, we got a whole bunch of characters to play as. My god, is that Stanley the Bugman from Donkey Kong 3? We're really cutting deep here, I like it. Ooh, we got a bunch of wacky costumes too, always a fan of these. You can play as Sonic, Metal Sonic, Mighty, Shadow, the entire opening to Scooby-Doo. What? Oh hey, look at that, a JoJo reference. That's sure to please somebody out there. Oh good, we can also play as the kid from I Wanna Be the Guy. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, hold on, we got special stages too? Whoa, they're based on Super Monkey Ball? I'll be damned, that's actually a pretty genius idea. But yeah, this is basically just a really fun way to play through that original Super Mario Bros. As well as the Lost levels. For some reason, that game still sucks, but you just have a bunch of options to change things up however you like them. Have you ever played Super Mario Crossover where you can run through those classic stages with a ton of different options for fan service overload? Yeah, Sonic Ball is just sorta like a different take on that, and it's also really neat. If anything though, the sprite work gives this game the upper edge alone. It is fantastic. The artwork on display for these stages and characters is so good. Ultimately, I'm not sure if I would say it's better or worse than Crossover, but the widescreen in Sonic Ball does also give this game an edge. Just please, somebody, explain to me what bowl means. I'm really clueless about that part. Alright, cool, we got our Kirby reference in there, that's nice, I can say I hit my quota for the year. Sonic's Speed Course. Alright, yeah, it's just like a Sonic version of Kirby's Dream Course, and much like that game, I'm really bad at this. To be fair though, this style does arguably fit Sonic a whole lot more than Kirby, so this all does kinda make sense. Again, though, I'm just really bad at it. Also, the world is heavily lacking in low polygon Sonic, so more of this is the key to world peace, I assure you. Alright, now we're serious. Sonic Robo Blast 2, the quintessential Sonic fan game as far as I'm concerned. The legacy behind this one is honestly super fascinating. Robo Blast 2 has been a thing ever since it started back in 1998, and it's still going strong. My god. Being based on a heavily modified version of Doom, actually, this is simply an awesome way of bringing classic Sonic into 3D. Great art style, smooth controls, absolutely massive levels, special stages based on knights? Holy cow, that's also really cool. It's all just so damn impressive, and I can easily see why this gained the great reception it's received over the years. And while the core game that you get here is really good, you take one look at the modding community, and you can tell things go to an entirely new level. New characters, new levels, even entirely new game modes. You can tell that Sonic Robo Blast 2 isn't just a game, but a platform, and there's no way that that isn't just incredibly cool. The mods are super simple to set up too, more than I expected. You just drag and drop a few files and then boom, modern Sonic with a totally unique moveset. You move around some more, you change some settings around, and then boom, look at that, fully 3D models. More low poly Sonic. This gives me life right here. I honestly avoided Sonic Robo Blast 2 for so long for no real reason, and I am honestly upset that I did because this is great. I love it. It's probably my favorite game I've played in this entire video. It got me thinking, this is Robo Blast 2. What about the first one? Oh, okay, yeah, we don't gotta talk about that one. It's okay. Now, you would probably assume that the world of fan games that has a much lower bar to entry to put out whatever anybody wants would have been giving us the weird, annoying, and flat out unfun fluff that we would associate with the worst of this fan base, but in actuality, the fans are responsible for some of the coolest stuff Sonic has ever seen, and it leads to a very bright future for this franchise. Remember before and after the sequel I mentioned earlier? Well, that developer would go on to create Spark the Electric Jester, a fully fledged original IP available now on PC via Steam. There's even a 3D sequel that's available as well, which also looks great. Freedom Planet, that's another one that became a big success with a pretty similar legacy behind it, initially starting off as a fan game. And like Spark, there's a sequel as well. And of course, Sonic Mania, proof positive that sometimes the fan base does kinda know best. There's even this annual event that happens online called the Sonic Amateur Games Expo, highlighting hacks, mods, fan games, and a whole lot more. And some of the games that I mentioned in today's episode are going to be in the 2020 edition of the Sage Show, so I highly recommend checking it out and seeing what some of these really talented people have been working on. The inconsistency in the official games given to us by Sega has created these massive divides within the community about what some think makes a good Sonic game. And while we can complain all we want about the state of the franchise on the internet, it's one of the constants in life complaining about Sonic ain't going away anytime soon. This reality, combined with the incredibly talented people to create fan games like this, covers these different niches and genres that simply won't be taken care of by the officially licensed media. And thankfully, Sega does embrace this side of the community. Some of the stuff you can find and play here is so damn cool, it is not worth pretending that this stuff doesn't exist. But what about the bad stuff? Oh god, I'm excited and nervous all at the same time. Alright, well I guess I'll go and pick an abomination of a character. This is fine. Oh wait, actually this one's pretty good. It's like a weird ball racing game that can be broken in an instant. Yeah, this is great. There's even online multiplayer too, that's hilarious. Sadly, at the time I played this, it does seem to be pretty dead, so at that point, it's pretty on par with Team Sonic Racing. Clearly, I missed out on the hot Sonic ball craze when it was new, because I'll be damned. This is fun. It looks terrifying, but hey, it plays really well. Hold on, is that a real-life crocodile? Excuse me? Okay, I take back all the compliments. Alright, here we go. Time to make my very own Sonic the Hedgehog. Clearly this is what influenced Sonic Forces. Yep. Thinking the arms should look a little bit like this. The head, definitely like this. Body color, yeah, this one makes a lot of sense. As for the name, Prego Night Supper Hispan Vex Kai the Hedge Girl. couldn't have said it any better myself, rolls right off the tongue. All right, that was a blast. What about the second game here? Oh man, sorry guys, it looks like I can't really play this one. That's a shame. No network adapter? Man, that's a big shame right there. Oh well, now it's time to make some movies for my adoring audience. Nothing too explicit here, I gotta keep my channel in good standing, you know what I mean? I am not risking my channel over this. The last option we have here is a virtual reality game where you're Sonic's roommate. Oh my god, okay, I hate this, I hate this. Oh, mom, pick me up, I'm scared. Yeah, no, this looks about right. Sonic Dreams Collection is... Yeah, that's about it, this game is. I knew this one was infamous for a bunch of reasons, and I was very scared to find out why. My fears were totally justified. Okay, so taking a look at the timer down below, it looks like we're almost done here. We have time for one more fan game. What do we got? Nothing like a sequel to Sonic Forces to really get the blood flowing. Here we have Sonic Suggests. That's one of the funniest names I've seen in my life. This should be good. Oh god. Oh wow, okay. I kinda hate how good this game actually looks. This is very pretty. Why? Oh, it's because of Hideo Kojima. Of course, I should have known. Oh man, what is this? I don't know what's going on here. It controls fine, I guess, but at what cost, really? You know, sometimes in life you get these questions that pop up in your head and you know you'll never know the answer to them, and this is definitely one of those times. Oh no, they're coming closer. Please stop. Oh man, we have a boss fight? We have an Eggman boss fight, okay. All right, a couple of hits and he's down. Has to be expected. Now it's time to kill the Eggman. All things considered here, still better than Sonic Forces. You know this is gonna lead to a massive snowball effect. Eventually, Unleashed will make its way to PC, so will Sonic Colors, and then all will be right in the world and will be in the best timeline.
Coming through.
Now do Unleashed, you cowards. It's about that time of year once again. Time to see what sort of wacky and all over the place creations the fans have made for our lovable and sometimes physical / mental pain-inducing blue hedgehog, Sonic. I did my first deep dive into a handful of Sonic fan games last year, and the response was very positive. Thank you all so much. But one thing was made very clear. I was nowhere near close to being done. I said this before and I'll say it again, the Sonic Online community often gets a lot of flack. Sometimes rightfully deserved, but more times than not, the community with the creative side? Man, you guys are so talented. Journeying through the annual Sonic Amateur Game Expo webpage can really be an eye-opening experience, man. The people running this event do such a nice job compiling a ton of new creations for all of us to check out and download. You got ROM hacks, mods, and fan games galore, and not even for just Sonic. That cute Kirby's Halloween Adventure hack I checked out before was here in its completed form. That's really cool. This fantastic Namco-inspired arcade game Annalyn was featured here, and it's now available on Steam. Congratulations to the developers on that one. Dude, Rayman Redemption is just here. A remake of the original Rayman that is so good and filled to the brim with quality of life improvements and changes that basically makes the original release obsolete. It was just there, along with so many other great creations. And, funnily enough, not like I planned to upload this on a specific day or anything like that, but as this episode goes live, Sage 2021 is currently underway, so go and check out this year's entries. You're bound to find some good ones. Like, look at this. Looks like Yeth finally has a sequel, baby! Pardon my fanboying here, I am just loving everything that's going on here, so I definitely recommend you take a trip to the Sage website because you are bound to find something that you are going to love, I guarantee it. Alright, now let's talk about Sonic. Let's first play some catch-up with Sonic Robo Blast 2. If you recall, I had very high praise for this one, and yeah, it's still awesome. This time around, I had to finally give some more mods a shot. Only had the time to check out Modern Sonic last time. There is a whole world out there for me to explore. And, oh my god, Spyro? Oh, dude, and he actually plays exactly like he should. He can charge, shoot fire, glide. It's probably because I'm pretty dumb, but having no idea how modding for this game works, the fact there is a fully operational Spyro the Dragon in here is pretty amazing. I even found this custom stage designed to be a proper Spyro area rather than a Sonic one, filled with collectible gems, a new lineup of enemies, an original music track that fits in perfectly. Super cool. It looks like there was actually a stage expo for this game. I found this neat little hub world filled with 2020 creations, and you can just jump into any of them and see what people have come up with, as any character of your choosing. If I haven't sold you on Sonic Robo Blast 2 yet, I don't know what to say. It plays so well, and it is incredibly easy to add on all of this extra modded content, of which the community is very active, but fine, okay, let's say you need some extra persuading. Huh? Oh man, we're really doing this now, aren't we? Alright, I will admit the UI is looking pretty sharp right now, but it's not like there's gonna be an actual battle system that's gonna be accurate to the persona. What is happening? Oh, okay, so it turns out there's a mod for Robo Blast 2 that turns it into Persona 3, and it's really good too. I can't believe it. And yeah, sure enough, you get to explore Tartarus. Just like the source game, you run around the randomly generated dungeon and find the stairway to climb up higher and higher. That's it. That's all of Persona 3, more or less. In this demo, you even get to choose who's in your party. I went with Blaze, Shadow, and Metal Sonic for my ride, but you can go with whoever you want. And considering you can actually decide your party members' actions in battle, it's kinda better than the original PS2 game. God, that's really weird to say. So far in this demo, it is just the dungeon crawling part, no social links in sight. As hilarious as that would be, but damn man, this is just crazy. Oh, and the Reaper is here too, good. You see, if you take too long on a floor, it shows up out of nowhere and decides to chase you. The screen goes dark, it's terrifying, this is too accurate, too accurate! Ladies and gentlemen, Metroid Prime 4. Yeah, because, you know, there's no rules anymore. We get a fully functional Samus Aran to play as too. And you know what? Fine. If this third-person camera style ain't your thing, here, boom. First-person mode like you'd prefer. I just gotta stop being floored by these things at this point, man. Yeah, this works exactly like you would expect it to. And when you activate the mod, it also includes rain in the first zone, and the music is now all Metroid stuff. What was once Sonic now feels straight out of the first Metroid Prime. And hey, if you want to play as Samus in those custom stages too, go ahead. Why not? I do not know how you modders do what you do, but keep on doing it. I am a big fan. Also found a mod where you can play as Kirby. Yeah, you can float, gain copy abilities. Do not be surprised anymore. I am succumbing to my own gimmick here. I love this too. Easily the most overwhelming comment I got was, "Hey stupid, you forgot about the racing game, Sonic Robo Blast 2 Kart." Here's the kicker, I didn't forget, but I needed a reason to do a follow-up episode, so here we are. I mean, easily, in my opinion, this is the best Robo Blast 2 creation to come out of the entire community. Robo Blast 2 Kart does exactly what you think it does. It goes above and beyond to transform this from a platformer to a fully fledged kart racer, with, yes, the same level of modding capabilities as the base game. You turn on a simple character mod and we suddenly get dozens of Sonic and even other Sega racers, all with a very, very wide customizable color palette. Also found this other mod where you can play as a cardboard cutout of Eggman and also a Big Eevee, so yeah. Easily my main. I found a Game Boy themed green stage too. Once again, I'm very easy to please here. I'm living out my gimmick. It's just so cool, man. It looks and sounds like the original Robo Blast 2, but it plays like a really solid kart racer. This isn't even really a mod. This is a full-blown standalone experience. Unless you use the kartless mod to then run around the courses Sonic R style, because again, why not? There are no rules anymore. But otherwise, yeah, and because this is just as easy to work with as that base game, it is really simple to hop online and play with your friends too, which is awesome. Sadly, when I logged in, I didn't have any luck in the public lobbies, but the fact this is an option in the first place is fantastic all around. All of the props in the world to everyone involved with these games and the associated mods. One of the best fan games to grace basically any franchise ever. Sonic Robo Blast is truly the king. Well, let's clarify here, Robo Blast 2. We gotta specify Robo Blast 2 because you remember the first Robo Blast? Yeah, of course you don't. Well, not long after that first fangame episode went out, someone decided to release a remake of that first Robo Blast. It looks and plays just like Sonic Mania, but it's still its own thing, man. Fantastic animations too, the way Sonic pops out of his ball all happy and whatnot. Ah, that's adorable. Slightly more expression than whatever Sonic was doing in that original game. It's only about a 5-minute long ride, it's a 2-act romp through Knothole Coast Zone, but considering what it's attempting to be, it's actually a pretty neat part of Sonic fangame history. But with all that being said, that concludes the Robo Blast portion of today's adventures, but only the start of the side-scrolling portion. 2D Sonic fangames continue to be one of the most rampant contributions to the fangame community. And I had to say here, looking at the comments, there was one that definitely caught my eye. The creator of Sonic Advance Revamped said, hey, you should check out Sonic vs. Darkness. Well, alright, I guess I know where I'm gonna start off. Thank you so much for the recommendation, and also, Advance Revamped, the game is sick, dude. Good job on that. Awesome stuff. Let's get going. Sonic vs. Darkness True Nightmare Revived. Right off the bat, it is clear that we're actually dealing with some relatively uncharted territory in the fangame field. Of all the existing games to be inspired from, this one is actually more like Sonic Rush than anything else. I'm not used to this, man. This is really cool, playing something so similar to Rush with beautiful sprite work and in widescreen. There's even this little rest area that you can revisit with a yet-to-be-stocked item shop. I am assuming that will be fun to experiment with once there's actually some stuff in there to buy. At the moment, there's not too much to this demo. There's only one level you get to play through as Sonic or Shadow, but I'm pretty sure this is still being worked on, so I'm definitely looking forward to what else comes down the pipeline for this one. One thing remains very true, not necessarily a good or bad thing, but still very true. A lot of the Sonic games out there are just not completed projects, but if there's one thing that this whole community is really capable of, is making a ton of really awesome proof of concepts and demos. There's a lot of those. Like here, we have Sonic Gameland, also evoking some strong Rush vibes, as well as Sonic Advance. On a surface level, we got another really solid and very fast Sonic side-scroller here, and while that's always a good thing, it turns out the main inspiration is actually Sonic Rivals and Riders. What? Oh, okay, that's why. There's a battle mode in this one. Yeah, man, this is where all the potential lies. You got a full-on racing mode and even a PvP combat mode. And I can see this being a ton of fun when there's more to dive into. But for the levels that are already here, yeah, it works pretty good. Running through the single player level is enjoyable too, but man, being able to actually think about Sonic Rivals in a pretty positive light is pretty uncommon, let's be honest here, so it's nice to see someone out there giving that a shot. There is not enough out there to fill the niche of Sonic racing on foot games, but get ready, there's a few more later on in this video that are gonna cover that too. Next up, we got Sonic Freedom. Dude, so you know that sick Sonic CD opening, a video so good it essentially defined how the audience would look at this character for years to come? And then the OVA happened and like it was kinda like that, but not, but at least it was still animated, so that was kinda cool. Well, hey, looks like we got a side-scrolling, hand-drawn Sonic game in the works that very similarly looks like that Sonic CD opening. This demo is currently only a singular level, and according to the developer, this isn't really indicative of how any future work will be, but for what's here, this is really cool, man. The level structure is pretty different than what you would come to expect, encouraging active vertical platforming thanks to this new bullet dash move. And boy, is it beautiful. Chunky pixels are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but quality hand-drawn graphics? Oh, this is just as awesome. Big fan of this. Quantum Collision is gonna be another one to keep your eyes on for sure. Look, Knuckles is wearing his hat. 10 out of 10. Once I start accepting that people are just really good at recreating classic Sonic gameplay with their own little twists and tweaks, of which this game has, and it's great, I gotta see something else to really make a fan game pop. Well, for this one, we got a neat looking top-down hub world, something you never really see in a fan game like this. We got a really fun special stage where you race and collect blue spheres at the same time to get the emeralds, that's really cool. The sprite work and music are really well done, but we even get this nifty little level transition cutscene, just giving a little bit of extra context to the world you're playing in. It's all of those extra little things that push a game from being good to great, so if this level of quality continues, Quantum Collision is another one that has what it takes to be a top-tier fan game for sure. And once again, hat. Not enough people are giving Knuckles the hat. But of all the games I played, if any side-scrolling fan game stole the show, Easily, it was Sonic Galactic. I don't know how this game sort of just came out of nowhere and gave us something basically Mania quality with its fantastic art design and music, a playable Fang the Sniper, using his gun as a means to platform, which is fantastic, as well as a brand new character, Tunnel the Mole, who's able to shoot across the screen like a regular Rocket Knight, making him fit right in with the rest of the crew. But damn, this dev team is killing it. Apparently, Galactic has been in development for at least 3 years now, and it definitely shows. This is fantastic. You gotta remember, Mania's level designs were built for 3 characters in mind, and it obviously did a really good job of that, but Galactic managed to have a level here where 5 characters are fun to play as. Impressive would be the understatement to end all understatements. Even the menu is super smooth. I don't know how long it's gonna take for a full game to come out of this, but take as much time as you need. This one is gonna be one for the record books, I can already tell. And you know, speaking of Sonic Mania, it really makes you think. It's crazy to imagine a timeline out there in the Sonic community where Retro Sonic never happened. Little history lesson for you whippersnappers out there. Retro Sonic is a fan game submitted to the Sonic Amateur Game Expo all the way back in 2007. This has been going on for a while now. It's pretty good, you know, a simple 2-act zone, it plays pretty well, looks surprisingly good for 2007, I will give it that. But the kicker, this was made by Taxman, aka Christian Whitehead, the guy who would go on to do the classic Sonic remakes on mobile and would work on, of course, Sonic Mania. Much like that Robo Blast 1 remake from earlier, there are some really pivotal fan games in this franchise's history, so under that umbrella, while it may not be as impressive as the other ones nowadays, I would definitely recommend this one as well, just to see how far things have come. But before we move on to the third dimension, I want to talk about some remakes here, because last year I played remakes of the Master System versions of Sonic 1 and 2, and I loved those. But since then, and this is really cool, they've been updated regularly. On top of implementing bug fixes, there have been changes as minimal as modified graphics and some physics tweaks, including things like the drop dash, all the way to including entirely new zones like Marble and Spring Yard for Sonic 1, to additional challenges for Sonic 2, like online racing. What? Now one could say riding a board as Mighty through Oil Ocean is sacrilege to the original game's vision, but to that I say, hey, I finally got around to beating Master System Sonic 2 for the first time. Give me my congratulations, this counts. As it turns out, these remakes were done with the Open Sonic SMS engine, publicly downloadable and usable with Game Maker Studio. So, if you have your own ideas, a lot of time on your hands, and you want to do something really cool like, oh, I don't know, remake Sonic Pocket Adventure in the same vein as the games I just talked about, go for it. This is just really cool. The creator of the 2 Master System remakes is encouraging others to contribute to the community, and that gets me really excited for the future. We are one step closer to having a competent version of Sonic Blast. God, I can't believe Sega thought this was okay. Actually, speaking of Sonic Blast, I even found a remake of Sonic Bootlegs. Here we have Sonic Blasting Adventure, a remake of 3D Blast 5, Adventure 7, and Adventure 8. All, dare I say, hidden gems from the Game Boy. Why do Sonic fans continue to ask for Adventure 3? We're all the way up to Adventure 7 and 8. You guys are so greedy. If I were to tell you that 3D Blast 5 was garbage, would you believe me? Well, thankfully for you Sonic historians out there, this 20-minute or so adventure is the definitive way to experience these classics. There's something quote-unquote magical about wanting to remake something as niche as this, but you know what? I can respect it. This was decent fun. I'm assuming Sonic Jam from the Gamecom and Sonic X on the Leapster are next on the docket. Don't let me down, the community is going crazy for it. So, at this point you may be thinking these 2D Sonic fan games are all the community is capable of, and then once again, while there are a ton of those, there's a lot more than that. While the classic styled adventures are really cool, there are also plenty of adventures that go far beyond what you think is capable with this franchise. Us Sonic fans tend to complain about a lot of things, but if there's one common complaint with modern Sonic out there that most of us can agree on, it is the absolute disrespect to the Chow. So many people have been wanting to raise Chow in new games for so long, and honestly, I still don't know how we don't have a Chow raising mobile app yet, but that's neither here nor there. Chow Resort Island, no more playing around here, this is the Chow simulator for you. Pick your favorite character, get dropped onto a new island, hatch a couple of eggs, go nuts, dude. Say hello to my new Chow friends. We got Blumbo and Blumpus. They are best friends. It's interesting, the Chow Garden here is definitely cool, but when you get rid of the part where you have to play an actual Sonic game to get the rings and items you need to better your Chow, and instead you just grind out a bunch of races, there's definitely a lack of substance here if I'm being honest. What is here is still pretty cool, fairly ambitious, it's not bad. Dare I say, it's actually slightly addictive. I just kinda want more. I want Blumbo and Blumpus to be the very best they could possibly be. Definitely worth checking out, but there is still a Chow-sized hole in my heart just waiting to be filled. Remember when I mentioned how Sonic CD defined the character for a large population of people? Well, the same can be said for the old 90s cartoon, Sonic SatAM. It was the same hedgehog you knew and loved, but in a darker and grittier atmosphere with a new cast of friends in a world that pulled off the whole being taken over by the bad guy thing way better than Forces ever got close to. And the Robotnik in this one was ugly as sin. It made it work, and thank goodness it looks like someone's out there taking notice of the potential of that story, and is crafting an old school RPG around it. This may just be an RPG Maker creation, you can kinda tell when it's in that engine, but that's fine. Don't let that dampen your expectations. This is extremely well done. Characters have unique skills they can pull off in the hub world, including Sonic going up, over, and gone, he's so fast. The combat is nice and traditional, very refreshing after remembering Chronicles exists. And hey, Antoine is here. Good for him. It's hard to say just how ambitious this project will be, but like everything else, the potential is here for something really, really cool. Some of you may know there was actually a canceled Genesis game that was based around this cartoon and this atmosphere, so seeing someone finally take hold of what could be and making something really cool out of it, that's very exciting. But then there is one very important question that I think many of us want answered. What if we just want to beat the crap out of Sonic and friends? Sonic Smackdown! Why wouldn't there be a fully built from the ground up fighting game featuring Sonic characters, man? Sonic Battle is for chumps. So I am like the exact opposite of a fighting game pro here. I am a novice to end all novices here. Pretty bad. So with that in mind, this is actually a whole lot of fun. You get to fight Knuckles in Pumpkin Hill with that stage's music playing in the background. This game just gets it, you know? It is crazy to have a 1v1 fight between Gemerl and Mecha Sonic and actually have it feel like both characters are properly represented. That is so cool. Gemerl is extra cool too, actually. Every character has unique specials you can pull off with certain button combinations, of course. But much like you would expect from Gemerl, or more specifically Emerald, one of his abilities is being able to pull off other characters' moves and call them your own. That is a really good callback to Sonic Battle, and it makes a whole lot of sense here. Silver the Hedgehog is also here, and his stage plays Dreams of an Absolution. Gotta give respect where it's due, man, that song is sweet. I spent all of my time playing this game going through the arcade mode, therefore, I think I'm a Gemerl main now. But like any other fighting game out there, you hook up some fight sticks, you get a buddy along for the ride, and yeah, eat it, Sonic the Fighters. Do you have a Sonic Spinball stage in your game? Yeah, didn't think so. Look at this abomination you can turn Big the Cat into. Your nightmares just got scarier. Now, last year I shined a light on a few 3D engines that show a lot of promise, which tend to be where most of the engines stay, rather than getting full games out of them, which is fine. These were so much fun. And yep, I found a few more. Sonic Infinity Engine manages to make a really fast modern Sonic that's actually really easy to maneuver with strict precision, and even gives some other characters unique abilities as well, on top of having gorgeous lighting. I could be wrong, but I haven't found any actual levels that use this engine yet, but boy, when they do, I want to play those immediately. Then we have Sonic Arcus out here basically remaking Sonic Unleashed for the PC. That's wild. And sure, you can say, oh, but there's already Sonic Generations that can kinda replicate some of the Unleashed experience. No, this engine is doing a damn good job attempting to recreate the entire experience. Running around the Apatow hub world on PC and not in emulation is pretty surreal. This is the same as Project 06. If Sega themselves do not see the potential and the easy money they could get from getting these games out there on PC, well then just leave it to the fans to do all the heavy lifting. They will clearly be very happy to do so and make it better. I am very excited to see where this goes, especially if custom levels are possible as well. You thought the Unleashed project for Generations was cool? Just wait, eventually we're going to be getting the Generations project for Unleashed. Then we'll be seeing the good stuff. Sonic Battle R, this one This one was a trip. Take the customized Sonic of your dreams, run around the Sonic Adventure 1 hub world, all of it. You can even jump into this boat and then go all the way to Eggman's ship if you want to. That's kind of cool. And dive into one of the dozens of stages to go out on a race. Yeah, this was intended for multiplayer, but I couldn't get anyone to play with me. Just take my word on it, okay? Basically, it seems like if it's possible to pluck the level files out of an existing Sonic game, it was thrown into this one for you to just have a free-for-all on. Throw all the rules out the window, man. You think this is only good for racing mechanics? No, they are good, but no. Hop into Westopolis, gun equipped, let the bullets fly. Oh man, Royal Raceway is here too? Okay, so we're not sticking to just Sonic here. That leaves the floodgates wide open. This is extremely cursed. This is what I live for. Honestly, even though this is intended for multiplayer, I had a ton of fun in the single player. Going through all of these different stages with my new Sonic06 Sonic with 3 S's. I loved it. Now, confession time. In all of my time researching for these Sonic fangame videos, I did make one very grave mistake last year. I said that there were so many cool 3D Sonic engines out there, but it would have been cooler if there was a completed project to really sink my teeth into. Turns out that exists. Sonic GT. Boy, do I ever feel foolish for passing by this one last time. You see, I went through the tutorial level and I thought it was kind of neat, but I didn't think there was going to be much more than that. It plays super well and the sense of flow here is fantastic, but surely I'm going to get past this, then get rewarded with a thanks for playing screen and then the game boots off, right? Well, no. Oh my god, there's a story that actually organically includes Mighty and Ray into things? Oh wow, there's multiple stages too? Huge ones at that. These guys made stages with unique themes that are massive and managed to walk the fine line between pure fun sandbox and actual progression-based speedrunning and platforming. And we even get decent boss fights that genuinely put your skills to the test. This is awesome. How did I miss this last year? The themes here are all from existing Sonic games, so something new would be pretty cool, but with how solid these stages are, that is really a nothing complaint. It's not a super long game, but honestly, that is arguably the best way to do a quality Sonic game. Short, but highly replayable. High marks all around for Sonic GT. In my opinion, the definitive Sonic 3D fangame. And as it turns out, the developers are making their own original game now too, with Project Rascal. Ooh, I love when stuff like this happens. Good luck to you guys. You know, sometimes it's hard to really know if these videos are going to be interesting or not because, once again, like I've said before, when you think of the Sonic fan community, personally, I was always predisposed to thinking that it was going to be just total cringe. Cringe as far as the eye could see. No. Dare I say, the Sonic fan community is truly what keeps this franchise alive. Sega could keep screwing things up until the sun blows out, but as long as we're able to get these really awesome fan-made experiences, dude, the Hedgehog's gonna be just fine. But I did find some dumb stuff too. Sorry, but when you find a game out there called Eggman Hates Furries, I just had to, man. I just had to.
Live in the danger, the great struggle takes place whenever they are gone. Terror takes the earth.
I don't know what I expected, but it certainly wasn't this. You ever just like imagine what a Sonic game would be like under the influence of something potentially illegal? Yeah, this'll do it. Essentially, this is like one crazy non-stop action movie with an endless barrage of bosses and totally absurd art direction. It's not even that bad, but it's like, why? Why is this called Eggman Hates Furries? I mean, I get it, you know, he's dedicated his entire life to taking down a hedgehog and fox, he enslaves tiny animals and puts them into robots, like, I get it, you know? But I need more context for this, damn it! As much as I wanted this to be flat out bad, it's actually kind of alright. It's incredibly stupid, don't get me wrong, and very much broken, and maybe to me it's just refreshing to play a fan game that really reminds me of like the old Newground days, but this is the perfect level of stupid for me in all honesty. I played Sonic Dreams Collection last year, that just barely passed my stupidity threshold, so this is more my speed. Play this for yourself and crack the case of why Eggman just hates those furries. Maybe the ending will surprise you. Probably not. This is only a few years old too. If we want to go down the Newgrounds rabbit hole a bit deeper, we gotta find something more of that era. Oh boy, here we go. A fan game from the year 2000. This released before Shadow the Hedgehog existed. I hope this puts things into perspective a bit stronger than just saying 20 plus years ago. I can't help but admit the morbid curiosity of playing a fan game this vintage and dusty. It was just calling out to me to check out. Our adventure begins in Minimalist Madness Zone. Move over, Sonic Mania. So I don't exactly remember what the expectations for fan games of this time were, but I'll give the game this. It works. Alright, I found Tails. Now to see why he's so bored. Why are you yawning? I'm bored. What? It's obvious, look at the damn title. I mean, okay, fair point. I talked to Matt about better cutscenes. You get him to make the game any easier? What? What is happening? Oh, no, okay, that sucks. Tails turned off the lights. The game is having you play a Sonic level where you can't see what you're doing years before it was cool. Oh, hey, a special stage. Didn't see that one coming, I'll be honest. Gotta get 30 blue spheres in Title Card Zone, my favorite. Does this mean Supersonic is in this game actually? That would be hilarious. After a while, Tails just starts making weird noises. Then I got trapped in the floor, and that was the end of my game. So I guess I'll never truly get to know why Tails was bored. Shame, really. I was very excited to see what Kakashita no Kyoden Zone 2 had to offer. With a name like that, you should only expect the best. But damn it, we have to go back even further. So I don't know if this is the earliest example, but I did happen to find a fan game that is theorized to have been released as far back as 1999, the same year Sonic Adventure released. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, The Search for Knuckles.
Live long and prosper.
Okay, will do. It might be best if you stayed here, Mighty, to boldly go where no hog has been before. Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm glad we're sticking to the whole Sonic not knowing how to swim canon. Oh! Eventually, we find ourselves at Angel Island. Maybe Knuckles is here, that would make sense. Oh, this is it? Then a dog tells us Knuckles is trapped in a well? Oh no, it was actually a trap. It was Metal Knuckles the whole time. What a shiny metallic mouth you've got. So I can chew my grapes. Sonic, why is that funny? That's not funny. Then you get a phone call from Forrest Gump? Is it, what? Oh, and then the Death Egg crashed onto the island and Knuckles is here? We found him? The island then breaks, the heroes all make their escape, and then they die. That's it. I take it all back. This is the best fan game. It was all downhill from here. Yep. Still better than Sonic Forces. Well, here we are again. If you're not caught up with the annual tradition on this channel, every 12 months or so I like to take a step back, stop being a cynical Sonic fan on the internet, and really spotlight some of the things that really keep this franchise alive, the true games that are worth caring about, that keep this hedgehog running. For better or for worse, the fan community. Whether they be mods for PC games like Generations, a bunch of original fan games like personal fan favorite Sonic Robo Blast 2, that one's really good, or even some more stuff on the cursed side like Sonic Suggests. I have been saying forever now that you are way better spending your energy being mad or happy or something good or bad that Sega is doing with Sonic on an official capacity. It is not worth it. Take a step back and look at some of the really awesome or, quite frankly, batshit insane creations the fans have been coming up with all this time, because some of this stuff will surprise you. Over the years, we have certainly taken a look at a ton of different fan creations. However, it's actually been over 5 years since the last episode that was strictly dedicated to the ROM hack side of the community. Once Sonic Mania dropped, it was nothing but PC mods and fan games for miles. Now, since that time, I have been fortunate enough to take a small part in the annual Sonic hacking contest. Of course, we've also checked out some hacks for other franchises like Kirby and Banjo-Kazooie, but man, looking solely at Sonic ROM hacks, that was partially responsible for allowing me to continue delivering content to you all to this very day. So I had a massive urge to, go back to my roots, I guess you could say. Listen, alright, I apologize if the fat Sonic thumbnail showed up in your recommended feed far too many times. That was the algorithm's fault. And, you're not gonna hear me complaining. So, a grand return to Sonic ROM hacks, huh? Okay, I can work with that, but if you've been paying attention to this community, you would know that the classic Sonic space has changed dramatically, especially in the last year or so. There's a lot to go over. Not a whole lot of yeth, though. I'm surprised about that one. I kind of thought that would take off a little bit more. The limits on what the Genesis can do are regularly being broken. The once exclusive to mobile versions of these games that were considered the definitive ones, not really by choice, are now on PC in a bit of an unconventional way, and alongside that, Sega entered the fray as well in an official capacity with Sonic Origins. Alright, let's talk about this big blue elephant in the room real quick, please. Yeah, so like, I mean, clearly the entire Origin situation can't go unaddressed, right? Especially with all of its ties to the fangame community. You're not gonna hear me echo all of the negative talking points with the latest Sonic collection like everyone else has done in an extended rant. I agree with all of it. But honestly, I do hold the opinion that on a casual level, this gets the job done just fine. When you look at someone like me, who is an absolute maniac, as someone who has actively inserted himself into a community where people get mad when Sonic is the wrong shade of blue, then yeah, I guess I'm expected to be a little bit more critical, but that's not me today. At its core, we finally have competent ports of the mobile versions of Sonic 1 and 2, a modern port of the CD remaster from 2011, and an official re-release of Sonic 3. Regardless of the issues, like how they took the prototype music from 3 and actively made it worse for no real reason since the prototype stuff sounded totally fine, I still can't believe that. And also this interesting hidden palace skip where you can click restart upon entering the area in Mushroom Hill Zone and essentially skip the entirety of Sonic & Knuckles. I genuinely love that. It's still, at the very least, a very fascinating release. Because not long before Origins, a major development in the online community was made. The mobile Sonic 1, 2, and CD were not only fully decompiled, allowing anybody to look at every iota of the game's files and port it to whatever device they wanted, but also recompiled them in glorious ways for everybody to get their hands on. Provided, of course, that you have purchased a legal copy of the game from, say, Steam. Oops! So now, let me introduce you all to not only a superior version of CD with more options than the official release, more importantly, Sonic 1 Forever and Sonic 2 Absolute, completing the set with the already widely popular Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited to give the fans what is truly the definitive way to play these games. Sorry about that, Sega. You really should have seen this coming from miles away. Oh, my bad, tails away. And yes, as many of you can see coming with the availability of open access classic Sonic games on PC, this also opens the door for mods to enter the scene too, which do perform differently than the standard ROM hacks, so all of this development basically gives fans many more platforms for unique Sonic experiences. Whether we're looking at the native PC ports or something that's built off of the older Genesis ROM files, the lines between hack and proper mod are blurring more and more by the day, and it is so exciting to see. So, like clockwork, I have played far too many Sonic the Hedgehog games once again. The things I do for you people. We're gonna start with the PC mods first. It is a much more subtle landscape than what we have with the ROM hack side of things, where it's just a whole lot crazier and a whole lot more unexpected, so sit tight. I know many of you are gonna be asking for my opinion on I made you a salad with extra tomatoes, but hang tight, we'll get there, I promise. There is just so much to be impressed with when it comes to Sonic 1 Forever and Sonic 2 Absolute. For one, both games include these sleek new UIs now, fancy new menus, a bunch of achievements to work towards, a ton of options to fine-tune the games to your liking, some extra game modes too, like the time trial in Sonic 2, inspired by that one time Melissa Joan Hart played the game on Nick Arcade back in the 90s, where she was told to get 25 rings and actively skipped a bunch of rings. Yeah, I like to see Clarissa explain that one. These versions have it all. At their core, they already have the technical advancements the mobile games provided, so we have smoother animations during normal gameplay, and more impressively, the special stages, because dear god, it is a nightmare going back to the Genesis half-pipes after this. And thanks to the options, we can throw in, say, the drop dash into our moveset, add in the elemental shields for a new way to play these classics, and yes of course, very easily add mods too. If you're interested, it does take a bit more finesse to figure out. It's not as seamless as modding the 3D games on Steam, but once you figure it out, you are golden. Since these ports are relatively new, there aren't too many mods to choose from as it currently stands, but I would still highly recommend going for the expansion pack mod for Sonic 1, which adds extra music options, a new Knuckles sprite that tries to mimic the Sonic 1 style instead of just plopping in the Sonic 3 sprites, really like that, new victory animations, that's just plain old cute, and Metal Sonic as a playable character. Sure, he didn't exist in the times of Sonic 1, if you care about the timeline, whatever, this is fun, enjoy fun things. There's just a lot of little things here that really help round out the overall package. Throw in the unique act palette and music mods too for some extra flavor. Let's be honest with ourselves, Sonic 1 is not the most exciting game in the world, but all of these extra things with the expansion pack really make this a better overall package. And similarly, Sonic 2 Absolute has the community pack. Music options, new animation options, victory animations are here, once again, very cute. This time he holds up 2 fingers instead of 1, that's adorable. The classic Knuckles sprite shows up once again, Metal Sonic is here too, just an overall great way to experience this timeless classic. Most of Sonic 1 Forever's mods are, again, minimalistic, but Absolute has some great ones to choose from. We got the inclusion of the prototype Hidden Palace Zone from Sonic 2's beta, that's really cool, since the official take on that zone that was added in the mobile port is pretty different. There's an extended Death Egg Zone that adds some actual level design and rings to the area, a massive improvement from going against the Death Egg robot with a one-hit kill, didn't like that part from the original. And there's a pretty interesting boss rush stage in the form of the Egg Gauntlet. This zone's existence is pretty fascinating actually. Egg Gauntlet was initially developed for the 2013 mobile port, but was inevitably scrapped for the much less interesting boss attack zone, presumably because Egg Gauntlet was far too creative and original of a name to go with. But I mean, come on, look at this. This pseudo vaporwave aesthetic with these level designs and gimmicks that transition from where the bosses came from, it's really cool. Doing it all in one go is a pain in the butt, but damn is it cool to see it preserved here. Or you could simply have a better Sonic sprite for these special stages. His quills were kinda weird in the original release here, let's be real, now that you've seen it, you can't unsee it. This is kinda better, I'm not gonna lie. Or you know, you could also play as Phineas and Ferb. Well, it's no Sonic 3 Air Breaking Bad menu theme, but I guess it's fine. Now, Sonic CD doesn't have as many options to work with this decompilation, but by simply installing the CD Restored mod, we got a ton of smaller changes implemented, like higher quality FMV. Gotta love that. In general though, since we already had a great version of CD available on console, this isn't really as impressive. Which is what I would say if I was a fool. Oh hey, look at the red guy. Is that Knuckles? A fully playable Knuckles that Sega couldn't figure out how to add to Origins? Wow, that's crazy. Oh hey, is that Amy too? Oh wow! Oh man, that reminds me. You remember when the initial Origins trailer advertised new characters and then removed that nugget from later trailers when people called them out for not being accurate? Good times. Fully playable Amy Rosie the Rascal, everyone. Don't let your memes be dreams. This mod actually introduces a ton, like, oh my god, so many minor changes that I cannot even begin to notice as a casual player, but assuming this is all coming from someone who actually knows what they're talking about, this is very impressive. And while not included in the restored mod, there is another mod that gives us Super Sonic. Get 50 rings and you turn yellow, there you go, it works as it should. Listen, alright, I am far from a big fan of Sonic CD, just to be totally honest with you, but this is awesome. This is awesome? Yeah, this is very awesome. Knuckles absolutely fits the more complicated level design of this game perfectly. Big fan of what this version of CD has to offer. But then, yes, there is Angel Island Revisited, the true MVP, let's be honest here. A fan-made recreation of Sonic 3 and Knuckles that made this the definitive experience immediately. That title, for a little while, did used to go to Sonic 3 Complete, still a fantastic ROM hack that provides a bunch of options while still being confined to a Genesis ROM, but man, 3 Air is perfect. Widescreen, smooth animations, music options with the Michael Jackson tracks still available, appreciate that a whole lot. Achievements and unlockables, you can randomize the layouts of the Blue Sphere stages if you're looking for a little bit of insanity in your runs, all while there was no mobile version to work with. And it was released years ago in 2019, that is so cool. Now, yes, the Origins adaptation existing does take a little bit of the wind out of this version's sails, because that version is kinda good too, but outside of the music, which I know is a minefield that I am sure Sega simply didn't want to deal with, on release, Origins was filled with a bunch of bugs, so it ends up looking infinitely more embarrassing with air existing, similar to how Nintendo just couldn't put Super Mario 64 in widescreen for the 3D All-Stars release shortly after that decompilation showed it was totally possible. Okay, wait, sorry, that was a bit of a side tangent. I don't want to revert back to being a Sonic complainer on the internet today. At its core, the Sonic 3 Air experience is pretty much flawless, but if you wanted to mod the game to, say, I don't know, make the level card say Hydrocity instead of Hydro City, you can do that and piss off everybody who disagrees with you. That'll be fun. Gotta say, I am a big interior of the blimp zone man myself. Rolls right off the tongue. Maybe you prefer the Origins music of the prototype music because you have weird musical taste. Well, thankfully, we have a mod that has you covered. You weirdo. Since this version of the game has been available for much longer, the custom characters are not hard to find. Amy with the workable hammer, check. Mighty with the ground pound, check. Ray with the swooping glides, check. Shadow with the boost. Sonic with the boost. Metal Sonic with his Metal Sonic ways. All fantastic ways to give this game a second, third, or in my case, like 200th playthrough. It's all of the little things that add to the overall experience, like these characters all having unique special stage sprites. That really sells things a whole lot. I don't know why I would expect to go into a big ring and then it would just be Sonic there because the developer forgot to make a sprite, but no, there they are, and they look great. I found these mods that give you Sonic 1 styled and Sonic 2 styled sprites. It's purely cosmetic, but it's just kinda surreal seeing Sonic still the same in the more detailed world. Just kinda neat. But I can read the audience. You're definitely like me and thought that while Sonic 3 is a fine enough game, it didn't have enough shotgun. Oh, thank God. But it's fine, okay, it's not overly violent, it's the shotgun from Doom, so it's a video game prop. Sonic is fighting for the greater good, we're okay. Let's just go down the list of some of the cool things you can do with Sonic 3 Air. So there's Mephiles Hunt, this one was pretty cool. Basically you play Sonic 3 as normal, but that dastardly Mephiles, he's on your tail the whole time. You stand still, you watch him pop up from the ground, ew, that's gross, and then he'll kill you. Well, except for boss fights. He just sort of flies there, motionless. I mean, he doesn't want to be rude. There's a Colors moveset mod that not only gives you a boost, but you have some Wisp abilities too. It's pretty jank, considering that obviously this game wasn't built around these aliens, but it's still pretty cool. DA Garden is a really popular ROM hack that altered level designs and color palettes. It's been ported over to the PC version. Pretty fun way to go through this adventure in a different way, sort of like the Sonic Mania Encore mode. Chaos the Imposter. This one deserves a special mention. This isn't like your typical character swap hack that you would expect. Chaos has the ability to transform into Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all at the push of a different button. You don't realize the absolute power of having the drop dash, flight, glide, and block breaking abilities all in one character. Oh man, this is so much fun. This boy became a final boss for a reason. You can make the special stage rings 3D here, so that's kind of cool. You can give Sonic his Gamecom sprite. Why wouldn't you? There's this one graphical mod that's kind of cool that styles the characters more like their cartoon counterparts. That's just kind of neat looking. Look, Tails does the cough thing from Mania Adventures. That was a reference. Or there's Sonic Feats. Finally, Sonic with no torso. That was my least favorite part. All right, let me just real quick. Believe it or not, this is what the ideal male body looks like. I am all on board for Sonic taking on this brand new Goomba form. It's good to see that Tails is such a loyal friend too. He also cut off his own torso. Best friends for life. Okay, but surely, with how memey this mod is, there's no way that they also altered the special stage sprites. Nope, they're altered too. Amazing. All in all, Sonic the Feats saving the day. I'm all in. 10 out of 10. Oh my god, the signpost is short Sonic 2. Oh god, I love this. So ultimately, when it comes to these PC versions, I mean, yes, Origins does have its fair share of issues, and I do commend a lot of the work that went into that package, like the brand new cutscenes, but if you're really looking for the ideal experiences with these classic games, then look no further. Your best option is Sonic 1 Forever, Sonic CD Restored, Sonic 2 Absolute, and Sonic 3 Air. Fantastic from top to bottom. Kudos to everybody that was involved with these projects, proving true the tried and true saying, fans do what Sega don't. Okay, you all want to see the wackier ROM hacks, I get it. Will the PC versions of these games ever get to the level of absurdity that the Genesis ROM hacks are at? I mean, probably not, but even still, they're all just different pillars in this same little subset of the community, and they're just as interesting to put under the same microscope. I mean, come on now, I've been meaning to spice up my 500th playthrough of Sonic 2 already, this was the best place to go. Now, if you remember, Sonic 3 on the Genesis never really got the hacking love that 1 and 2 got. I'm assuming that's due to 3's relative complexity, since the accessibility of the PC version shows some of the endless possibilities that are there. But back on the Genesis, I mean, hell, why would you even bother attempting with that game when you can already do damn near anything with the other two? Dude, like, someone is out there implementing swimming into Sonic 1, okay? Like, why? Who cares about Sonic 3, right? Well, thankfully, in more recent times, we got stuff like... Oh Jesus. I can't help but be attracted to the insanity, man. This is one of my favorite art pieces for Sonic yet. It's interesting though, this is absolutely a meme hack. I mean, I think that's obvious. Nonsensical level design, just pure frustration all around. But it's this interesting amalgamation of mechanics from all of the classics in one level. The wacky workbench bounce pads, Metropolis enemies, Carnival Knight's spinning barrel of doom, Sonic 1's special stage gems. Hey Mega G Wolf, what's up, how you doing? And then you get to the end and you defeat the boss. Oh man, it's crazy. I feel wrong even spoiling this. And then Sonic died, f*** you. First off, rude. Over the years, we get to slowly see some of the advancements with the Sonic 3 engine with the few hacks that are available. Like I found this one level called Water Chase, which you get chased by rising water. Kinda challenging, kinda cool. And then there's Chaos Adventure, which brings in abilities from Sonic Chaos on the Game Gear, and hey, that's cool too. Even with modified level designs though, I don't really think these work very well, but quite frankly, I don't think they worked out well in the original in the first place. Sonic Chaos, not that great. Is that a hot take? I don't know. Battle Race. Now this one is particularly interesting because this is a complete reworking of Sonic 3 to be a competitive race, where you gain points for nailing things before your opponent does. You got this fancy new UI to tie things together. This is very impressive. And right on the offset, as soon as you turn on the ROM, it says right there, if you use this with a Genesis emulator, you can play online. Great times to be had there, guaranteed. But then, Sonic Epilogue. We got a little more fanciness here. Sparkly new title screen, there's an opening cinematic. Oh, we got some crazy stuff now. And then you basically turn into Rocket Knight? Oh hell yeah, dude, that is sick. You do this segment in space and then it leads to a series of brand new and insane boss fights. Explosions all over the place, intense music, some secret bosses too if you're feeling really spicy. This engine is starting to really show some chops. Just take a look at Sonic Delta 40MB to see more of what's possible with this engine. All of the stages from the Genesis games, including a couple extras, crammed into a single ROM file built off of the Sonic 3 engine. Like, all of them. This is Sonic Origin Story Mode with no cutscenes and a couple of extra levels in one Genesis ROM. That's insane. But then... Yo. Dude, what? This is incredible. Hellfire Saga. What if Sonic was in hell, like where I've been for the past 10 years making all this content? I mean, yeah, to put it simply, it is basically Sonic running through all these classic spooky 16-bit games all at once. We have references from a bunch of them. You got some Ghosts and Goblins in here, some Castlevania, Mickey Mouse. That's a big Garsh moment right there. This is a full-fledged adventure with these large, elaborate level designs. The soundtrack is fantastic. You got a ton of songs ported from the same games. Great new sprites and animations for Sonic. Pentagrams all over the place, so don't show this to your family over Thanksgiving dinner. That will not go over very well. A lot of well-done gimmicks like these switches that reverse gravity. All of the bosses, every single one of them is an insane technical marvel. But hey, we're sticking truthful here. This is still Sonic 3. You got the Insta-Shield, Elemental Shields. Somehow, I have no idea how, but we took Sonic 3 and turned it into this. Amazing. And the crazy part, it's actually really fun. It's far too common to have hacks that offer up a bunch of cool ideas and that look impressive, but don't really offer a super fulfilling experience with said ideas. That is not the case here at all. And this is a demo? Dude, aside from this annoying soft lock, I got very near the end of the game, which was I don't know, 40-45 minutes in. The thought that there's going to be more of this game is very exciting. We need more takes of Sonic running through hell. and going up against Satan, we need to spice up the franchise. This is the way to do it. Sonic 3 completely bypassed the weird era of hacks that 1 and 2 got, and we quickly got an absolute banger, and we got a whole lot of bangers to come. I cannot wait to see what's in store next. Oh, God. Okay. Dr. Yundong? Is that how you say it? I don't even know if I care. Okay, sure. Let's see what we got here.
It's the maniac!
Okay, so on one hand, I gotta say, injecting a little bit of top-down exploration into my Sonic 3, cool stuff. You don't really see that all too often, so that's kind of admirable. I like that. But on the other hand, what in the name of all that is holy and unholy in this world is this, and who gave him a PhD to become a doctor? He shouldn't be licensed. Oh, okay, there we go. I found it. I found the side-scrolling stuff. He's even more disgusting in this form. And this jump cycle is gonna give me nightmares. He's too noodly. And he has a chomp move? I mean, I guess with a mouth like that, may as well. And he can crawl. Why does the bottom of the screen say lover? Oh no, it's the egg guy. Boom, just like that, we are the win. Lover went right. Now, unfortunately, the rest of the hack is currently unfinished. Or fortunately, I guess. I really don't know anymore. Look, fish in the snow. Listen, I went through years of thinking that Yeth was the thing, you know? Everybody watch out. White streak speeds by, it's Yeth. But no, you tag team him up with Yundong now, and you will never see your family again. And with that, that about covers it for Sonic 3 as it currently stands. I'm sure this will be an ever-growing list of just the most impressive and demented shit you've ever seen in your entire life, but I still think that Angel Island Revisited will take the cake in terms of what the fans are truly capable of with the adventure that we all know and love. Sonic 2 and 1, on the other hand, oh, you already know this is where the craziest stuff is. A few years ago, I talked about Yoshi in Sonic 2, and quite frankly, I don't care if this is a repeat that I've already talked about before. This is one of the most insane ROM hacks I've ever played. It just works. This is Yoshi exactly as he played in Yoshi's Island, obnoxious baby crying mechanics and all, on the Genesis in Sonic 2. Oh, you get to shoot eggs at Eggman. All these years later, things make a whole lot more sense. Oh no, guys, watch out. Yoshi got all the Chaos Emeralds. And I bring this hack up again because if you thought that this level of crossbreeding wasn't enough for you, well, how about Mega Man X? You start the game, it's got the level select screen and everything, like you would expect, and once again, it just works. It's not as memey or ridiculous as some of the other ROM hacks we've talked about today, but just the fact that this works exactly as you would expect it to, I feel like we're living in a simulation. None of this should be real. To be honest, once the novelty wears off, I don't really think that X works as well in this game as Yoshi does, which is an insane sentence regarding Sonic 2, by the way. He's slower, using the Buster makes encounters with the most basic enemies take longer than they should, but damn it, there's something about seeing X gamble his life away in Casino Night Zone that I just love. And it's still better than Mega Man X7. And granted, a lot of my enjoyment comes from the fact that I have literally played Sonic 2 at least 100 times over my life, on just a casual level, so being able to spice up one of my favorite classic games in brand new ways like this is just so cool. Like, I can't believe I haven't talked about this before, but Pink Edition, just a fantastic implementation of Amy with her hammer and Cream with her Chow Cheese, replacing Sonic and Tails, as you would expect. Fan service aside, there is a lot of extra movement options afforded to you with this moveset that really let you rethink these stages in brand new ways. And this can be applied to Mighty and Ray as well, playing just like they did in Mania Plus. Mighty has his ground pound and he can take hits from spikes. Ray can fly around Super Mario World Cape style. By this point, you have dozens of different characters to play through this game with, and quite frankly, this is what Eggman deserves for making so many enemies. How bad of a person do you have to be to pull Bunny Rabbit in from another dimension who wants to kick your ass? You know? You got to be pretty bad. Oh, okay. Alright, we got Sonic 2 with Mario Odyssey's Cappy mechanic. Alright. Sometimes you have a wild idea and nothing comes from it, but damn it, I'm able to blaze through Emerald Hill Zone as a buzz bomber, and that's kinda sick. Only a few levels work so far, you know, at least I assume this part isn't intentional, but I very much look forward to the day where Sonic can capture Eggman. A truly terrifying image is sure to follow. I am very excited. And then the next one I found was simply called Funky Boss. Oh, funky? More like ballsy. Kaizo Sonic 2, oh, Jesus Christ. Man, we're really still doing this whole Kaizo thing in the year of our hedgehog 2022, aren't we? Finally, level design where this zone name makes sense. My thing when it comes to hacks like this is not so much that I have very little patience, it's that, you know, my favorite thing is when you nail one of the really difficult challenges perfectly your first time, only to fail the next one, and then you continue to fail on the thing that you nailed perfectly before, and you keep screwing up when you did fine the first time! My blood pressure's doing fine, why do you ask? Now this next one is called Sonic 2 QP, and QP could mean many things. Quantum physics, quality policy, quarter pounder, maybe a throwback to 2XL with that one? But no, even better. I did it. I beat the level with skill. I couldn't figure out if the QP thing has an official name behind it yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and opt for it to be called Sonic 2, quickly, please? Sonic 2 CD Remix. Now this one's pretty cool. Essentially you take Sonic 2, but give it the CD time travel mechanic. There are some extra changes on top of that, like there's a couple of additional playable characters, some music customization options as well, but yeah, you can now run through Emerald Hill and travel to the past or future. There's not really much incentive to do so aside from just saying that you can, but considering this is done on the Genesis and not the Sega CD, that's pretty impressive technologically speaking. The classic Metal Sonic race was also ported into Death Egg Zone. How cool is that? Like, it just feels better, cause I don't know, the Spin Dash and CD sucked, so this is nice, I like this. It's still in its demo state, but hey, that's why you gotta check into the Sonic hacking contest. There's the shameless plug. Hope that works. Sonic 2 Tailsplosion. A hack where if Tails touches the floor, he explodes into an endless ember. Finally. Honestly, you should probably get that checked out. It's just a shame the one doctor in this world is evil. Really SOL on that one, sorry, you gotta update your health insurance. All jokes aside, this is a pretty cool take on the whole outrun Tails idea. Really adds a lot of tension to the water sections in Chemical Plant. I like it, I hate it. Can't even enjoy a peaceful game of pinball without a fear of a two-tailed fox exploding and losing all of your winnings. But thankfully, since I've played this game so many times over the years, it's still easy to get to the end, take down Robotnik, and free all the little baby explosions from their capsule and save the day. Hope this exploding Tails idea makes it into Sonic Frontier somehow. You better do it, otherwise the game's gonna fail. But for my money, there is no experience quite like Snulf. Oh, sorry boss. Yeah, I can't come in today. I got the Snulf. In a move that's too psychotic to fathom until actually playing, what if Sonic was Golf Ball? Go for power, go for height, pick a god, and pray. You have no direct control over anything here. I mean, okay, sometimes after coming off of a ramp you have a little bit of influence, but for the most part, embrace pain. There is something truly sadistic about taking away all this control in a Sonic game. Honestly, some of these moving blocks in Chemical Plant are torture, but damn it if I didn't have the curiosity to see it through. If I had any recommendation though, if this hack were to continue development, I would say to actually remove the bosses altogether and just have the levels end instead. It's not like the bosses are impossible to get through, but these are way too frustrating compared to simply getting through the obstacle course stages. But hey, say you're still a big fan and you want more Snulf in your life, well don't worry, we got Snulf 3 and Knulf 2, the hot sequel. Alright, he's queuing up for the shot, good power, good height. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You love to see such a performance on a nice hot day in the burning forest like today. Magnificent all around. Let's just hope this hedgehog doesn't get into any controversy like a certain tiger did. And then we have Sonic 1, and what's interesting about Sonic 1, just as it was back in the day, this is the most boring game in the series, and yet somehow it's provided the most interesting ROM hacks of the bunch. Listen, okay, you throw a hack in my face that's titled, "I made you a salad with extra tomatoes," and I say, "Okay, sir, thank you so much, this will be delicious." We got two variations of this hack, one where you play as Sonic, and one where you play as this weird cat thing. That's the extra tomatoes one. "I made you a salad" is just with Sonic, extra tomatoes is that thing. It's important to keep that in mind. It's interesting, this is just a big ol' well done level hack with a big ol' food theme. Quite an untapped market for zone theming, I think. Look, the onions cry at you. Sometimes it do feel that way, I get it. Yundong is no more. Oh, thank God. Eggman has also taken the next logical step with his brand new vehicle at the end of the stage. Knife. This is a pretty fun level, but looking back at extra tomatoes, it's even more interesting. This cat and all of his cursed variations is making me kinda nostalgic. I feel like I've seen this one before. Oh my god, it's Pantoufla the cat? That's right! Man, I talked about Pantoufla years ago. I feel so bad for not giving this hack more attention back then. Quite frankly, the cat gave me a bit of a seductive look in its earliest version on the title screen, and I just couldn't look past it. I apologize. Back in the day, Pantoufla was just a relatively typical hack. It played exactly like Sonic with an array of new assets. It was fine. Lacked all cohesion, but it was fine. But you look at the latest version of Pantoufla the cat, excuse me? This has evolved so much. Pantoufla has his own moveset, you got some Mario elements thrown in there with these blocks, all the while still kind of feeling like the Sonic game it was initially based on. There's this one part where you go inside a cave, and something about seeing the background go from the grassy fields to the rocky wall interior is just really cool. This is looking great. Then you got these dogs barking at you, and they have the word bark coming out when they do so. That's a Chubby Cherub reference, I think. If it wasn't before, well, it is now. Sorry about that. That's totally Chubby Cherub. I have no idea how much longer this hack will be in development for, but man, seeing how far this hack has come, I'm very excited for the future. Being able to track the progress of this game over the years, you get to really see where the time and effort goes to. That's awesome. We have certainly come a long way from Sonic and Tails in paint. Oh god. More like AntDude in pain. But if you wanted to keep things simple, well, don't worry, you still got plenty of those tried and true character hacks coming through to fulfill your every desire. Cream with a working cheese, Shadow with a lightspeed dash, sadly no gun, not yet, one day it has to happen, I'm telling you. Rouge with her downward spike, Charmy if you feel like just flying through the stage with reckless abandon, sure to appease the 2 Charmy fans out there. Big with his fishing rod, of course. Mickey Mouse? That's 2 Mickey Mouse mentions in one Sonic ROM hack episode, that's... Never say anything's impossible. Oh no, Pikachu the mouse. Oh man, okay. You know what, I was ready to meme on this one because look at this. Getting big Captain Falcon Pikachu vibes out of this one, and I don't like it. But then I saw some of the enemy badniks, but they have Pokemon redesigns, and then I was like, okay, yeah, this makes it totally worth it. That is really clever. Some of you old school fans may even remember Pepsi in Sonic 1 with the Jimmy Neutron references. How could we forget? Would you be happy to know I also found Pepsi Remastered? No? Too bad. This part is not sponsored, I promise you. This part's not sponsored, I would not lie to you. But I wouldn't say no if the offer were to come into my email box. I'm just saying, until then, I'm a Coke Zero guy. Over time, hacks for Sonic 1 are simply getting more interesting mechanically and especially conceptually. Black and White was a very interesting take where levels have been stripped of their color and most of the music on top of that, with only collecting rings being the thing that slowly brings life back to the land. It's like that one episode from Powerpuff Girls. That was the first thing that came to mind with the evil clown. Reverse curse is another simple idea. Collecting rings is actually bad now. Everything I know is a lie. But it's not just some mindless avoid rings scenario. Maintaining a shield, rings do no damage. You got invincibility? Well, rings actually add to your counter. That attention to detail really made this an interesting run of the game because it's not just avoid the rings. You can get rings if you're smart about it. Really cool. Hell, there's this one hack where you simply die if you ever press the left button. You really miss the small things when they're taken away from you. This is, oh god, I just want to progress, but I can't. You can even die in the special stages if you press left. That's amazing. As far as what the potential of the future has in store for us, well, I think Definitive has a lot of potential. A fairly standard reimagining of Sonic 1 at this point, you know, kinda different level design, kinda different sprites, you know what to expect here. But I love the sprite work, the music has been tweaked as well, and Bridge Zone even makes an appearance, that's so cool. I just want a nice solid experience, and this game does that. Listen, Sonic 1 Master System was far from a great game, but I really enjoy seeing some elements from that game get some love. The Bridge Zone theme is so good, and it is a shame that it is restricted to the 8-bit game. And actually, on that topic, conversely, there's even a hack out there that's attempting to port the Genesis game over to the Master System, instead of the other way around. This is so weird. I'm not really much of a fan of the 8-bit Sonic games, so seeing this, it's kind of making me feel strange. Both of these adventures shared totally different zones, so to see all of the Genesis stuff downscaled to older hardware is just really neat. But I think the hack that caught my eye and my imagination for the future the most is Sonic Debut. I am such a sucker for a video game's beta elements that are simply lost to time and the cuttingroomfloor.net. Debut isn't necessarily a sorta beta recreation, but it is a new set of levels based on a bunch of beta elements. Like Sonic doesn't spin jump, he collects coins instead of rings. That's cursed, but he does it here. Your health is attached to hearts instead of your your coin count. There's something just so alluring about the mysterious old prototype stuff that we found in Sonic 1 so far. So having anybody out there try to take what we do know and make something new out of it, nothing but respect. There are so many beta or prototype recreation attempts for these games out there, but this is the one I wanted to talk about the most, because I was inevitably not going to be able to talk about every single hack. Do some research, you'll have a great time. There's a lot to play through. Or you can choose the side of chaos and just throttle the Genesis power to its limits with Tag Team Adventure. This is a hack where you control 4 characters at once and play through the game as a damn slideshow because the emulator can't handle it. Oh dear God, why? I love the ambition of seeing Sonic Classic Heroes where you had 3 Sonic characters in one stage. Oh, that was super cool. What if we added a 4th? God, I can't wait for the 5th character to show up. That's gonna be so exciting. Hey man, credit to the developer here. I get it. You found out you can do it, and by the grace of all that is holy, you pulled it off. But oh man, at what cost? If it wasn't obvious, I find there to be a lot of merit in seeing just how much you can squeeze out of the Genesis hardware while giving us something completely new and original. It is super cool that you can do that without resorting to the endless possibilities of the PC versions. I like that a whole lot, and that is no further exemplified than with these next few. Oh man, this is my new favorite. Sonic 1 Blastless Edition. That dastardly Robotnik has stolen all of the blast processing, and it's up to you to keep your rings in check to make it so you could actually see what you're doing, I guess. If you keep losing all of your rings and you keep taking damage. Literally 1984. Yep, that's him. That's Sonic. Playing through the game this way with the whole rings recovering blast mechanic is fine and dandy. I enjoy that, but the real joy is diving into the in-game menu and tinkering around with all of the different options on the fly. Yes, for one, it is very impressive that these things can just be flicked on in no time, but also, you know that this means I was gonna go ahead and make the crustiest Sonic 1 you ever did see in your life. Massive pixels, ridiculously slow screen scrolling. Give me only 5 colors, that's more than enough. Remove some of the sound channels too, we had too much of those in the original. Yep, man. This is Sonic 1 as you remembered it. I really love when you play Starlight Zone this way and the theme song just holds one note for far too long now. Beautiful, harmonic even. I don't know what's more cursed, honestly, how this looks and sounds, or the fact that I've played so much Sonic 1 in my life, I can still beat the game just fine. I don't know what's worse. I could play through Sonic 1 like this, that's a problem. I can now see why Sega touted blast processing so much back in the day. Clearly it was needed. No way this would have ever competed against Mario otherwise. Hell, Sonic wouldn't even be able to take out Pitfall Harry at this rate. But you know what, man? There's something missing. There's something additional that we need to take away from Sonic to really achieve true greatness. This entire time we've been playing these games with controllers. There just has to be a better way. Oh my god. Sonic 1, point and click. Finally, the joy of playing a Sonic the Hedgehog game with a mouse rather than a D-pad. It's like Kirby Canvas Curse, I guess? You still use the Waseda keys to actually move, but everything else controlled with a mouse. Mess with the enemies, carry item boxes, if you click a spring, the cursor flies away. That's hilarious. It's a really unique way to go through this adventure, but you know what? I say we still have to find a way to get the light gun to work next. That would really be something. Until then though, the MVP award goes to Sonic 2 Mouse Edition instead. This gets the stupid keyboard out of the way too. Now you also have to scroll the mouse to move Sonic. The way God intended. Thanks to the magical technology we have been afforded, we can use a mouse to control a hedgehog who was initially conceptualized to be a rabbit, and the main villain is an egg. I love video games. So, in conclusion, Sonic the Hedgehog. But if anything, without a doubt, the worst part of this game is upgrading all of your attributes at the Elder Coco. Dude, like why? Why does it take so long? And you can only do one at a time? Were they nuts? Almost everything else in this game they made sure to make as speedy as possible. This made me want to rip my thumbs off. Well, thankfully the modders out there have already created a mod to speed up the process dramatically, and this is great. The fans, as always, picking up the slack where Sega faltered. And as expected, the fandom has not let me down. It's time to take a look at some Sonic Frontiers mods. People often ask me where I get a lot of my mods from, and easily, Game Banana is the best one-stop shop for situations like this. Now why it's called Game Banana, I have no idea, but it certainly guarantees you won't forget about it. Almost instantaneously after the official release, like I expected it to, mods were flowing out like crazy, and it was a beautiful thing to see. And you gotta remember, it is super early on in this game's life, but there are already so many ways to fine-tune it to better your experience. Yes, this is now objectively better. Time to play Sonic Frontiers, everybody. Sonic Frontiers. And if we take a look at the menu, we could play arcade mode, or we could read the user manual. I hate myself. First and foremost, shout out to the early Momentum mod. Of course, fans are out here immediately trying to better the game's physics. Quite frankly, it's like every 3D Sonic game has a mod like this. Like I said before, in the base game, I didn't really have any issue, but this mod does make two core recognizable changes that do make the open zone traversal a lot more fun. For one, going up and downhill actually affects your general speed. It does in the original game, but it's a lot more noticeable with this mod. It's a good thing we got that handy dandy speedometer right there to check. You can see, yeah, you go up and you go slower, you go down, you go faster, that's cool. I like realism in my Sonic games. More importantly though, jumping no longer halts any momentum while you're boosting. That essentially means you can maintain max speed for a lot longer, and this really perfects the primary gameplay loop because it's awesome. It doesn't really affect any of the slower moment-to-moment gameplay where you're handling puzzles and whatnot, but when you're just blazing on by, oh, this is great. It breaks some of the cyberspace levels. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. Looking way off into the future, I'm sure this will lead to some custom level designs being injected into the cyberspace and maybe even the open zones, but as it currently stands, the majority of mods available this early on in the cycle are just little model swaps, which are simple in concept, but I mean, come on here, it's gamer time. Sage doesn't know what's about to hit her. Oh no, Sonic, oh god, oh no, he can't hear us, he has his AirPods in. The group effort from the offset was to get as many different existing Sonics into this game as possible, like it's some incredible Sonic multiverse, and amazingly enough, they all look great. We got Adventure 1 Sonic, we got Adventure 2 Sonic, with Adventure 2 styled Super Sonic in tow, 06 style with the appropriate run cycle, Brawl Sonic, if you really want to capture that Sega, please hire this man vibes. Link Sonic is here from the Lost World DLC. Movie Sonic, you know, that one makes sense. You got the whole blue aura when you go super fast, so Movie Sonic fits in. Minecraft Sonic, this one is incredibly cursed, but I love him. Pixel Sonic, this one is also incredibly cursed, and I'll be honest, for this one, I'm emotionally indifferent. But if you're like me and you're a casual low poly Sonic lover, then I had to jump in with the Sonic R Sonic because, this looks incredible in the high fidelity world. I would still pay a ridiculous amount of money for a modern Sonic game with a low poly aesthetic. I love this so much. And if you're feeling a little frisky, well, we got Buff Sonic too. We all know somebody that would be into this, and I'm glad they're having their needs met. It's really cool to know that official playable Tails is coming down the pipeline, but until then, hey, here's fan-made Tails, and this one can even fly. It breaks the game almost immediately. This is everything I could have ever hoped for. Having some custom animations as a part of this really opened the door for some cool possibilities too. Here's Jet Set Radio Sonic, where he not only dons the outfit but also skates around, which is just kinda sick. But I'm pretty sure this animation was initially developed for Shadow Frontiers. You see, the beautiful thing about this mod in particular isn't just the animations, but the voice samples are also Shadow, really making this feel like a legitimate skin in the game. The Super Shadow skin at the time is, it's a little problematic, but listen, he's been through a lot. Sadly, there's no Shadow with a gun mod yet, probably in the works I would imagine, but until then, at least we have just gun. Yeah, you ever wanted to play a Sonic game where you're just a gun that can have one-shot projectiles that kill anything with just one bullet, just bam, dog, they're dead. That's it. And then, oh wait, sorry, and then you can become Super Gun. Oh no. Maria definitely wouldn't have stood a chance against Super Gun, let's be honest. But thankfully, leave it to Luigi to save the day and really set the record straight. Wait a minute. Luigi's not a Sonic character. Oh man, this is hilarious. Yo, Luigi's Mansion 4 looking crazy right now. Oh wait, I take it back. Kirby and the Forgotten Land 2 looking crazy right now. And pictured here is the alternative reality where Klonoa is actually a successful franchise. God, that actually really hurt to say out loud. Listen, alright, I like Pac-Man as much as the next guy, but Klonoa deserves as much time in the spotlight as possible. Oh hey, Pac-Man's here too, of course. What's beautiful about some of these mods is not only is Sonic changed for them, other characters get altered too. When you play as Klonoa, you have Lulu over Amy, there are Moos over the Coco, and you can collect pellets as Pac-Man. I love it. The attention to detail here is great. Dude, like, you can run across the islands collecting lasagna as Garfield, okay? This is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Not because it's funny in its own vacuum, but it's also a clever throwback to the classic Sonic plus Garfield combo pack. You see, that was a reference. Dehydrated SpongeBob is a thing too. I don't need it. Or, even worse, you could... I just want the pain to end. Oh hey, you can also be a Fries. Or a low poly cat. That's cute. I don't know who Maxwell the cat is, but after this, yeah, I'm a big fan. At the end of the day, yes, the mods aren't currently as exciting as some other games like Sonic Generations has, but you gotta remember, we are still early in. Considering that, things are pretty exciting. The future is very bright. It's really just a whole lot of aesthetic differences so far, but they easily fulfill their purposes as cute little options to toy around with in a game that feels like a big ol' sandbox at times. Like hey, now you can make the first island take place in the fall. Adorable. That's a little bit of the visual variety the game needed in the first place. This really has me excited for the potential the modders will bring to the table. Excuse me? Oh no, he's schmoovin' now. You see, this is what it looks like when you give people too much power. And I don't hate it like I thought I was gonna. Okay, ground's a little shaky here. I don't know if we can get this. Oh, there we go. Okay, we got this. Oh my god. Oh, there's too much shaking going on. I don't like this. Okay, we got it. Okay. Don't look at the background. Don't look at the background. I'm gonna be so sick. Okay, let's go. Okay, I think we got. Oh wait. Oh. Okay. Never mind, dude. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, this is basically impossible. All right, Chaos Emerald. Here we go. Alright, you dancing bastard, you're going down. Alright, here comes the laser part. I'm familiar with this. he's still dancing. Dude, I don't know what's going on anymore. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what this strut is, but man, he's showing off his moves alright. God, whoever made this mod, I love you. Sonic Frontiers hasn't even been out for 3 months. 3 months! And we already have all this to play around with? Dude, like, come on. The future is so exciting. Whatever the modders have in store for us, I cannot wait. Like I said before, man, 2022, this was the year. Sonic is back in the best way possible. What do you mean Sonic Prime debuted in Roblox? If you are so inclined to play these games, then yeah, the Master System versions are the ones to load up. They make the Game Gear versions just seem like a neat little novelty, and that's about it. They still don't compare to the Genesis games, like, for God's sakes, Sonic 1's got auto-scrolling sections, and I feel pain. But in their own little bubble, they're decent 8-bit Sonic games. And also special shout out to the fan-made remakes of these games too. Not many people know about these, but some fans out there made these great remakes of these two games that aren't necessarily faithful, but I will be damned if they're not really fun. We got widescreen for both of them so you can actually see what you're doing, that's a godsend. Sonic 1 has newly added zones from the Genesis games like Marble Zone. Sonic 2 has the buddy mechanic, that's pretty cool. There are extra characters aplenty for both of these games like Ray in Sonic 1, that's pretty surreal. The gimmicks that were already there got some polish, and hey, some new ones too. What is this surfing nonsense in Oil Ocean? Okay, this isn't faithful in the slightest, cause like, also look at that, it's supersonic. What? Damn it, it's not authentic, but it's still pretty cool. These fan games are getting updated all the time. If you're looking for a Sonic experience you likely haven't checked out before, definitely give these a go. And hey, while we're at it, check out this hack of Sonic 1 on the Game Gear that changes all of the aesthetics and music to be that of the Genesis games. Really got no other options when it comes to interesting ROM hacks for the Game Gear titles, but hey, pretty impressive how they got this game to look while still being a Game Gear game. Need to remind you, Sonic Blast exists. Triple Trouble is just a really solid time from start to finish, and easily the Game Gear's best. But, you know, I would of course be remiss if I didn't mention the incredible 16-bit remake as well by Noah Copeland, taking everything that game had and making it feel like the Sonic 4 that we never got. The Sonic 4 that we never got. A Sonic Chaos remake was in the works as well to make things look and sound a lot like Mania, but unlike Triple Trouble, this one isn't complete. What's out there though shows a lot of great promise. That demo is really fun. Remakes and reimaginings of the past 4 Game Gear adventures existing and all representing their source material in different ways is super cool, and it shows that the Game Gear truly did provide something that all Sonic fans should experience one way or another. Unlike... Oh god, I'm gonna vomit. Listen, for all the slack I give Sonic 4, maybe I'm being too harsh. You know, it certainly doesn't control very well, but it plays a lot better than this. Rise of Lyric, Black Knight, Forces, hell, let's throw Schoolhouse into the mix. For my money, Sonic Genesis is the worst game in this entire franchise. At least some level of effort went into the other bad games. This is just the lowest of the low, and even further proof there's a higher power out there smiting us for even liking this blue hedgehog in the first place. Like dude, Sonic Spinball in the Sega Smash Pack for the same console plays a lot better than this. Oh my god, how embarrassing. Massive shoutouts to the ROM hacker Stealth that managed to do what Sega don't. That didn't sound right. And not only get Sonic 1 fully functional on this console, but even throw in Tails and Knuckles just to show off. Now granted, this is a tech demo, it's just Green Hill Zone and a couple of special stages, but hey, just to show off that this was actually possible if Sega cared at the time, it's impressive. It's no surprise that Stealth would go on to work on Sonic Mania. Dude knows his stuff. Oh, I forgot the handheld bootlegs. Ah, dude, of course, the Game Boy Classic, Sonic Adventure 7. What happened to 3 through 6? It's terrible. You see, you're the fool here. You may have gone your entire life not thinking that even the Game Boy had some Sonic games because Sega had its own console. Why would they put them on the Nintendo console? Well, hoo boy, would you ever be wrong here, buddy? I mean, hell, if we're throwing fan games into this conversation, why not include these too? They may have been fans when they made these games in their Chinese sweatshops. I don't know. I'm still waiting on the developer documentary. Gaming bootlegs is an entire other world that we can get into, and it's just a friggin' minefield as far as the eye could see, but it will always be interesting. Back when I was first checking out this magical thing called the internet when I was a wee little kid, I saw this title screen for something called Sonic the Hedgehog 4 on the Super Nintendo. My young mind was blown. I didn't know there was a Sonic 4. Just to find out it's a garbage sprite swap of Speedy Gonzales, Los Gatos Bandidos. My young mind was then pissed. Ooh, Sonic 3D Blast 5, back where it all started. Let's look at the technological leap between 3D Blast 5 and Adventure 7. Simply going from 5 to 6 was gonna undersell just how big of a jump this was. Dude, and do not get me started on Sonic Adventure 8. Holy sh**. Did you know there was also a fan game called Sonic Blasting Adventure that's a remake of all 3 of these games? God, life really is funny sometimes. In the year 2018, I made a video on Sonic Unleashed specifically for the PlayStation 3. That was the only version I had at the time. This, by no means, was meant to be some sort of be-all end-all encompassing retrospective on this game in its entirety. It was simply the 10-year anniversary of the game's release. I saw an opportunity for content, and I wanted to share my opinions on the game as well as what I believe to be the general consensus all those years later. Leading into yet another recommendation for the Unleashed project, a mod for Sonic Generations on PC that ports all of the daytime Unleashed levels and lets players access some really quality content without, you know, the not quality content, like the terrible frame rates on the PS3, because oh my god, it was so bad. And you know, at the time, I thought I hit the nail on the head, but this was basically the first time I got kind of like attacked by a Sonic community, and the Unleashed fans, I'll be honest, I didn't know you guys existed at that point. The whole, am I the only one who likes Sonic Unleashed crowd was getting so much more vocal, and they were yelling at me as if I was like perpetuating some false narrative that this game is bad, and because I'm pushing this false narrative, Sega is not going to port this game to modern consoles, give it the chance it deserves in a modern day, etc, etc. Now for one, it is so funny to me that some people think that I or any other YouTuber really have the power to influence Sega's decision making, because boy, if I could, there would be a Sonic Labyrinth 3D remake right now that for some reason is VR exclusive. just cause I think that'd be funny. But secondly, it was that moment when I noticed a bit of revisionist history at play here. It was basically just an isolated incident for me, but then I started to see it all around social media. This wasn't a simple acknowledgement that opinions were just changing over time. This was a moment of, hey, this game was actually good all along. Am I right, fellas? I can't be the only one who likes Sonic Unleashed. And I feel like this only happens with Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, like, the Super Mario 64 PC port also exists, and it came out around the same time as 3D All-Stars, but you don't see people going absolutely crazy about that, changing the course of the history forever. It's just there, have fun, go nuts. I swear, I've seen so many people over the years try to argue that Colors was actually the beginning of another dark period for the Hedgehog just because it stopped taking the story so seriously. And that's before Colors Ultimate showed up and really started to gaslight another group of people into believing the game was never good to begin with. And this is all insane to watch happen in real time because in 2010, Sonic Colors was the greatest thing this franchise had ever done. People even gas up Sonic06 now, and like I totally understand why, but it's just mind-boggling to me. Like 10-15 years ago, that game's mere existence, people would have you think that was a sign of the end times. Now granted, I also know a lot of people like 06 now because Project 06 completely bypasses the story, so when you bypass the bad stuff, hey, what do you know, there's a good game there somewhere behind all that story. What a surprise. So, in typical Sonic fan with too much free time on his hands fashion, I really wanted to take some time to dissect this phenomena and give my own opinions on the Sonic franchise as a whole as of the mid-2020s. I want to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. I want to talk about how revisionist history has hit this franchise like a freight train over and over and over again, how almost everything you thought you knew about this franchise with the existing games is now a lie, how I believe the fandom is almost solely responsible for it and not the official company themselves, and how I wouldn't want it any other way. Now, of course, not every Sonic fan is equal out there. That'd be foolish to say. There's a lot of toxicity out there. We're all well aware of that. I feel like a lot of that has to do with the general health of the franchise at the time, and those fans could leave way more of a lasting impact than they would otherwise. The documentary's up to how many parts now? Jesus. Naturally, as you can probably tell at this point, this is all coming hot off the heels of the Unleashed decompilation project, which, by all accounts, is one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my entire life. Dude, you have not lived until you played Sonic Unleashed at 60 FPS on the toilet thanks to the Steam Deck. Dude, gaming is more alive than ever before. One of the things that always boggled my mind with the Sonic Unleashed Defenders years after the game came out was, hey man, the game ran like garbage no matter what console you played it on. They were far, far too ambitious with the scope of these worlds and the really nice details on these graphics, because the frame rates, oh my goodness, they were really bad. And typically, whether or not you care about frame rate, it didn't really matter, because for a Sonic game, you want it to be smooth. And then you take one trip to the jungle, and then man, your Xbox 360 might blow up right then and there. I don't know, that console was prone to some bad issues. So you combine the shoddy performance with the loading times and the backtracking for the medals and all that sort of stuff coming together. I still don't take back what I said in that original video where when it comes to the console version of this game, I would not recommend it. It's too rough of an experience. Obviously there were some good ideas for sure, but on that hardware, nah, this game, it needed some more years to cook for sure. So fast forward a few more years and Sonic Unleashed gets a port to the Xbox Series X with FPS boost. The game still runs at 720p, so it's not like the most high-tech version in the world, but you can play this game now at a consistent frame rate, and damn it, the game finally became awesome in my eyes. There are still some problems for sure, like I still believe that the tornado missions kind of suck, but hey, I clearly like the game well enough now to get every single achievement. In the Xbox version, I got every one of them, including the hot dog missions, and that took a few years off my life. But it made for a really compelling video, so go watch it if you haven't yet. And all that goodwill the Sonic community had with the Xbox platform with the backward compatibility program has been thrown out the window because a few fans said, okay, sure, we're gonna port it natively to PC now, and it just works. Like, you don't need a really powerful PC, you can run it at 4K and higher frame rates and mod support, you can just do that now. You can play Sonic Unleashed on the toilet on the Steam Deck, like, dude, the future is now. I figured I could have waited until my typical ROM hack and fangame spotlight to talk about this, but like, I've been playing it a whole lot, and it's just genuinely one of the coolest things I've ever seen. As someone who attempts to keep his eye on the Sonic community as much as humanly possible, it's just gonna be absolutely insane to me to accept that we went from Sonic Unleashed is pretty bad to Sonic Unleashed is pretty good, am I right? To, you know what? We actually don't trust Sega to port the games themselves, so we're gonna do it, and it's gonna be perfect. Alright, cool. And you know what? Considering the launch state of Colors Ultimate, a noticeably weaker Sonic game with infinitely more issues, that was likely the right call, so do I complain? Or do I just accept it? Yeah. But this is the best recent example of the fanbase dictating the general consensus of this franchise in real time, and that is great. This is all happening, by the way, while someone's attempting to also port Unleashed to the 3DS. Yeah, bro. Why not? Bro, why not? This little demo is like more enjoyable than any of the official games that are released on this console, so good on you, man. And if you've watched my previous Sonic videos, you likely already know how I feel about this, but here's my bold claim that I really want to cement here. In my opinion, to get the most out of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, you need to embrace fan creations. Now, of course, I'm not saying that you can't be a Sonic fan if you only take in the official media. I'm also not saying that it's okay to berate the not as great official media, because there's some really good fan media out there. What I'm trying to say is because there's so much Sonic coming from so many different sources, and so many of it's really good, I think it's best to just take it all in, be happy, and enjoy Sonic. Is that too much to ask? For some people it is, but damn it, I'm happier. If you're trying to be a Sonic fan in the late 2010s and play nothing but Sonic Boom, then bro, be my guest, but that was not going to be me. All I'm saying is, as a lifelong Sonic fan, my experiences have greatly improved once I started playing and paying more attention to full-blown fan games and mods and even animations attempting to fix Sega's mistakes and show the true potential this franchise has. Like, dude, do you see the Sonic Adventure animation that popped up a few months ago? This is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my whole life. But then, does it really make a whole lot of sense to become a bigger fan of the franchise when you start to consider the fan creations on an equal playing field as the official ones? I mean, I think so. When it comes down to Sonic the Hedgehog in particular, it's really not hard to see how we got to this point. Sega has attempted so many different directions for Sonic over the years, with different spin-offs and universes and art styles, each with its own unique set of problems, but also with its own unique set of fans committed to making the best out of a bad situation. Like fans in 2009 saying that Sonic and the Black Knight, Sonic with the sword, is super dumb. Okay, I can get that. I'm on board with that. I can understand that. A more modern Sonic game like Sonic Frontiers has a whole lot more hand-to-hand combat. Oh, okay, it's a bit of an odd choice, but sure. Some fan goes in and says, okay, you know what? I'm gonna actually mod Sonic Frontiers to have Sonic with Excalibur, and it's gonna actually look kind of sick. Like, bro, okay. Yep, sure, why not? I'm down with this. As long as we can come to a mutual agreement that Excalibur Sonic is actually pretty sick. Like, it's no Super Sonic for sure, but this whole transformation sequence completely makes it, and it's pretty awesome. Am I the only one who likes Excalibur Sonic? But okay, fine, let's try to take a look at things on more of an objective level. Here's a list of Sonic games that people had next to no issues with upon their first release. Oh, that's it, huh? That's not gonna go over well in the comments. Transformed really is like the perfect kart racer though. Like, back on the topic of Black Knight, did you know that you can play that, as well as its prequel, Secret Rings, in the Dolphin emulator, not only with typical upscaled graphics, that makes sense, but also a combination of settings to play them with full button controls, and a texture pack to correlate with whatever controller you choose to use, to make it feel like it's a proper HD remaster. A lot of times when it comes to this generation of games, sometimes the simplest approach of just upscaling it and making it work on a modern controller is all that you need. And it's just here, and it's actually been here for years. This is the closest thing to a modern console port we will ever get with these games, and I'm okay with that. Once again, still a whole lot of problems with these games, but by simply removing the motion controls, which were a little too much here, it makes them pretty fun, and almost eliminates any need for something as bold as, I don't know, a remake to polish all the rough edges. Oh, what's that? There's a thing called Project Ignition, which is a full-blown Secret Rings remake in the works, and it actually looks pretty sick. Yeah, man, okay. Project 06. This is one of the greatest things to ever happen in this franchise. Some people still feel like there's a debate to be had on whether or not Sonic 06 is truly as bad as everyone made it out to be when it released almost 20 years ago. And boy, oh boy, you want to talk about revisionist history, make no bones about it, folks. It's a bad game. Like Sonic Unleashed and like Sonic and the Secret Rings, there of course were some good ideas here. It's not like every single aspect about this game, every little bit of creative muscle that was put into this adventure is bad. That would be an outlandish thing to say. That's an argument for Lost World, I guess. I'm kidding. Kinda not. The game never got a PC port, and there is a substantial mod out there that does attempt to modify and fix the Xbox 360 version of this game, but now we got fans out there that decided to completely remake the game from scratch, and it's kinda better, so it's awesome. You know, at this point we have the entirety of Sonic's campaign, Shadow's campaign, and Silver's campaign in here. Every single level is there, a bunch of modified mechanics, anything that was an issue in the original release, like, I don't know, Sonic's control during the mock speed sections, that's been fixed, and now they're really fun. There's a lot of additional flavor, like these in-level cutscenes that just add a little bit more context as to what you're doing. That's awesome. And it just became a really fun game. Isn't that what you want at the end of the day, right? Like a platformer where you play as Sonic, that's all about speed, and it plays really well. Like, that's all you want, right? Right? Well, some people will argue that this doesn't really matter because this is not ever going to be a direct replacement of Sonic 06 because there's currently no boss stages, no hub worlds, and signs that this is never going to happen. It's just going to be the core gameplay levels here. But if the thing that you're replacing is Sonic 06, then this is really like the best possible outcome as far as I'm concerned. If you're watching this video, you're already fully aware of how good Project 06 is, but this really just emphasizes the whole idea of the fan community contributing to the revisionist history of this franchise because, man, it wasn't that long ago when people would have you believe there was absolutely zero redeeming qualities with this game. Turns out, all it needed to be was better. So, you know, that's a safe selling point for sure. But again, I feel like it's best to acknowledge that we got here because of Sega's mistakes all those years ago, rather than pretending like these games were actually these hidden gems all this time and just needed that little bit of extra polish to truly appreciate what they are. No, Sega really didn't know how to make these games to their best of their ability back in the day. They've almost always been consistently divisive, and it is incredibly smart for them to let the community do what it's doing and take a step back, because when one of the major selling points of Sonic is just how replayable these games are, leave the main development for brand new adventures that I guess people will be critical of in the years following while the fans are fixing the mistakes of all years past. Is it the most ideal outcome for every franchise out there? I don't know, but I think it's working so far. I mean, take another look at Sonic Colors. Ultimate had an infinite wealth of issues that really shouldn't have been there, and I don't know exactly if it's Sega at fault or if it's Blind Squirrel Studios that are at fault. I don't know. I'm sure they didn't want to release a bad product, but they did. Sure enough, give it a little bit of time, and we have Project Rainbow that fixes a vast majority of these issues. The lighting is fixed, weird issues with the models are all fixed, and even the cutscenes have been completely redone because, hilariously enough, when the original release of Ultimate came out on PC, they forgot to take out the source code that involved all of the cutscene data, so Blue Wolf was able to go, okay, I'm gonna just take that data and re-render it in higher quality, and then boom, there you go. Now they look great. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I really feel like at this point, as a Sonic fan, I'm simply sitting here waiting for people who are sitting behind computers, programming things to make a blue hedgehog go fast, and it really feels like the only thing separating fan projects from official products isn't the quality, because there's very clearly quality things on both sides, it's just the budget and the hype. Sega has that for sure. You're never gonna see Rainbow at a Sonic Direct and be like, hey guys, we screwed up. Like, that's never gonna happen, so again, it just embrace where we are. But this wasn't always the case, of course. I think a reason that a whole lot of Sonic fans deal with a lot of painful memories is because we were forced to mostly deal with the official products, and that was about it. But now, that's not the case, and I feel like this can all be attributed to one pivotal canon event in this franchise's history: Sonic Mania. Look, okay, I understand a lot of people oddly take issue with even coming close to referring to Mania as a fan game, but when you look at the roots of someone like Christian Whitehead making his own 2D Sonic engine at his home that's good enough to be used for the official ports on mobile, I can honestly see that argument. It's kind of like that original movie design that was later fixed by longtime Sonic artist Tyson Hess. This dude made Nipples the Enchilada, okay? Add a whole bunch of years onto that, and we have the best video game movie of all time. I'm not saying Sonic 3 is a fan movie, but I would certainly hope these projects are made by fans at the end of the day. But Mania injected so much pure, unbridled joy into the community, it only hit that much harder when Forces dropped only a few months later and practically undid all of that good faith in one swoop. And also, by the way, shout out to Sonic Forces Overclocked. Like, it's this really cool mod that has a whole bunch of new story elements with new cutscenes, brand new level designs, a lot of cool new set pieces and remixes, and like, it's only about an hour long. Like, there's not a whole lot of Forces to work with there, but that 1 hour is way better than the 2.5 hour official game, so the fans win again. We're kind of at this point now where all 4 of the main Sonic Boost games have better versions out there, and it's a mixture of official and unofficial. And I just think that's pretty cool. Dude, Forces, I know I'm like a broken record with complaining about Forces, but like, I think I had more fun with the old Newgrounds Sonic Maker, you know? And you know what, while we're on the topic of Newgrounds, I feel like not enough credit goes to the fan animations out there, further adding to this whole Sonic multiverse idea with so many different takes on this universe and the characters. If you find yourself watching a Sonic video in the current year, there is no doubt in my mind that you have at least heard of Sonic Shorts. This almost 2-decade-long multi-episodic series that compiles a ton of different animations from a wide variety of animators that, sure, if you go back to watch some of the old ones nowadays, they may not all be bangers, but even still, this is very pivotal and important in the early stages of a Sonic fan on the internet. To me, it doesn't really matter if you think those first few episodes are a little bit too dated, like, I get it. Sonic Shorts still deserves its flowers. But the true Sonic fans out there are already behind Nazo Unleashed and Super Mario Bros. Z. Like, unironically, these two creations right here have some of the best anime fight scenes in the entire Sonic franchise, way better than anything in Sonic X. And quite frankly, I don't think that's up for a debate. The whole backstory behind Nazo is crazy too. Like, it was just something that was based off of a mysterious looking figure in a Sonic X teaser trailer that led to nothing, and then fans said, okay, sure, it's an all-white evil hedgehog that uses the negative power of the Chaos Emeralds, go. And it's pretty sick. I think the biggest shame is Super Mario Bros. Z never got an actual conclusion. It ends on a cliffhanger after all these years, but hey, what's here is awesome. Some genuinely super impressive early Flash animation stuff right here. Sonic fans are incredibly talented. It's all just fascinating to me knowing that this community was already there making really good stuff as far back as the late 2000s, but it really felt like things were ramping up tremendously in the later half of the 2010s. Because let's see, by this point I was mainly riding off the high of Nazo Unleashed and peak ROM hack Sonic Megamix still, like holy, what a good game. That was actually like super influential, and you're still seeing the effects of that to this day in the modding scene for Sonic Mania. This is long-term storytelling at its finest. And it was around this time I decided to go onto YouTube and make my very first ever Sonic ROM hacks video. I've aged quite a bit since then, and if you've seen that fat Sonic thumbnail over the years, I'm sorry, but I mean, it worked. This era of the community gave us some fantastic things, like we saw the rise of the Dreamcast conversion mod for Sonic Adventure DX, essentially reverting the PC version of Sonic Adventure DX to all of the old assets from the Dreamcast days to satisfy the growing group of people who just flat out did not like the changes made to DX, on top of other mods letting you play in widescreen since the original port didn't have it, amazingly enough. Definitive version of Sonic Adventure, there you go. Sonic 3D Blast Director's Cut, a mod with a bunch of bug fixes and brand new features for the Genesis game made by one of the lead developers. Just the concept of someone from the team of a 90s game going back and adding to their own product and just releasing it for the fans to play, like, I don't even like 3D Blast all that much, but that's incredible. And of course, we can't forget about Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited, a modern port of Sonic 3 that came out at a time where Sega was practically acting like there never was a third game, omitting it from Sonic collections and whatnot. It was very, very strange, and I get why, because of the music, but still, bizarre. And it had widescreen, a ton of customization options, mod support, which there are mods coming out so often. There's this Amy Galore mod now that has so many different playstyles for Amy Rose, it is overwhelming. Like, hey, cool, they added Amy to Sonic Origins Plus. Sick. This is actually crazy, you gotta check it out. And on top of that, you had the mobile ports of Sonic 1 and 2, as well as the previous gen release of Sonic CD. It was very outdated, they weren't releasing these games on consoles, didn't make any sense, so, you know, Sonic Origins is cool and all, but the mobile ports got decompiled and recompiled like right before that, and now we got things like Sonic 1 Forever, Sonic 2 Absolute, and Sonic CD Miracle Edition. Quite frankly, in my opinion, these are the better ways to play these games, because like Sonic 3 Air, all of those customization options and mod support, it is there as well. Sonic 2 Absolute even has a mode that's based off of the old Nick arcade game that Melissa Joan Hart played back in the day and she failed miserably at, and that's here now so you can try it for yourself. Clarissa can explain it all, but she can't explain this poor gameplay. CD Miracle Edition is pretty cool too because it has this interesting roundabout way of giving you a super form without there being Chaos Emeralds with the Miracle form. It almost acts the same way, like you're shiny and whatnot, but it's just cool to see the fans go out of their way to add something that actually kind of makes sense with the lore instead of saying, hey, you get all the time stones, you can turn supersonic. Like, that wouldn't make sense, but this, I guess, makes more sense. Why not? There you go. The definitive versions of all these classic games as well. But hey, if you still want to play Sonic Origins, maybe take a look at the Sonic Origins Ultra Fix mod. I really don't understand how Origins, just being these basic ports of these games that were already out for a while, have so many issues, but sadly, they do. Ultra Fix addresses that and makes so many, like, oh my god, so many little changes. Honestly, it would take far too much time to go through every single one of these changes. Like, oh god, there's just so, oh my god, it's still going. Oh my god, it's still going. Oh, and don't even get me started with Sonic Generations and just how much the fans have extended this game's life like no other. That PC version, man, we got a ton of new skins, entirely new models for characters to play as, relatively simple ported levels from other games like Sonic Colors and even Shadow the Hedgehog, that's cool. We have shockingly expansive brand new levels like Shivery Mountainsides, which is a ton of fun to speedrun. You can even play Super Mario 64 in Sonic Generations. Dude, oh my god, I'm going to hell just looking at this. Even when you include the modern port with Shadow Generations, which is by all accounts an awesome game, and it is very important to have those games readily available on modern consoles, it is hard to top everything that the 2011 PC port of Generations brought to the table, and still will for years to come. And speaking of Shadow, isn't it also kind of crazy that we're waxing poetic about Shadow 05? The fact that we're even calling it Shadow 05 now because we also have Shadow Generations is just funny to me, but yeah, I guess more and more people are talking about how this game is a bit of a gem too. I mean, it certainly helps that they gave Shadow a gun and a motorcycle in the movie, and we're just saying that the symbol from 05 is Shadow's emblem now. Okay, we'll accept that. But the actual game itself, I mean, I do kind of like it, but it still has a lot of problems. Well, what about Shadow the Hedgehog Reloaded? This is a huge quality of life mod for the GameCube version of this game, and there are so many things that are just better now. The last story that previously needed all 10 unique endings to unlock, now you only need 3. All of these different missions that are all about taking out X amount of enemy to complete it, well, they're a lot more forgiving now, allowing you to miss a few, and you're fine. Shadow controls better, there's widescreen now. They added an S rank to the rank system, so that's cool if you like going for the high score. Like the other games in this video, there's a lot of problems with Shadow 05 for sure, but there are some good things in here, and I think Reloaded does a great job highlighting just those specific parts and making it an actual worthwhile experience. And who can forget about the Sonic Riders fans? I mean, Sega certainly hasn't. Putting Jet in the extreme gear in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, that was mind-boggling to see. But if you wanted to go back and play the original games, I don't know, there are certainly some strong fans out there for sure, but I was never really one of them. That being said though, of the 3 Riders games that are currently officially released, all 3 have really cool ways to play them now thanks to the fans. We got Sonic Riders DX, Sonic Riders Regravitified, and Sonic Free Riders without the Connect. So DX and Regravitified, they're really cool. They add new characters and stages, they modify the mechanics, they're really fun ways to play those games, and I will always give the Riders games a lot of kudos for having this really cool style for the world and the characters. I love how these games look, and hey, now I kinda like how these games play a little bit more. Free Riders, on the other hand, that's some dedication, because I didn't even think anyone was asking for this. Yeah, so now if you're so inclined, you can play the weakest Sonic Riders game with a controller, and not a completely faulty camera system that shouldn't have been there in the first place. I don't know if Free Riders has that same effect of like, wow, there's so many cool things in here, and now we have a way to experience it. I don't think it's that, but hey man, credit where it's due. That probably does more for game preservation than anything official, so good job. Wasn't this also the first game that introduced us to the voice actors for like Shadow the Hedgehog when they changed the voice actor and he was very weird and grungy at the time?
I'd suggest you beat us before getting excited.
All these years later, I'm still getting used to it. Man, we got these really cool remakes of Sonic 1 and 2 from the Master System, bringing in new levels and characters and mechanics, and it's just really cool. And I know, once again, not really a true replacement, but this is how I beat Sonic 1 Master System, because I'm not going to do it on the original hardware, not that fun of a game, and I had a great time. They're doing the same thing with Sonic Advanced. Sonic Advanced Revamped is happening now, and it's a full-blown remake. Like, what? That's so cool. Still no Sonic Labyrinth, but hey, we'll get there. Did you know that Mania also has a port to the 3DS? What a world we live in, huh? And I would be really remiss if I didn't bring up once again the likes of Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit, Sonic and the Fallen Star, and Sonic Galactic. Like, these are full-blown classic Sonic games that, for me, are in the conversation for ranking classic Sonic games because, quite frankly, I believe Triple Trouble 16-bit and Fallen Star, at the very least, are better than Sonic 1, and I would love to hear differing opinions on this. Galactic is still a work in progress, but man, it is so promising, and I can't wait for this one to come out. This is the next great classic Sonic game, I'm telling you. If you're liking any of the projects that I'm talking about here, by the way, you should really check out Sage, the Sonic Amateur Game Expo, and the Sonic Hacking Contest. These yearly events that host so many projects, like way too many projects, and if you really like stuff like this, that is the place to be, because it's going to be a ton of fun every single year. I mean, this is where I first discovered Pizza Tower, so And it's thanks to taking a look at these communities I discovered things like Sonic Robo Blast 2, a 3D classic Sonic game that was built off of the Doom engine and is unironically one of the most fun games in this entire franchise. And then to go from that to like a full-blown spin-off kart racer with SRB2 Kart with really fun kart mechanics and just as many mod options as the base SRB2, how do you just casually make a new kart racer like that and it works out extremely well? And then you do it again, Robotnik Ring Racers, they did it again! It takes a lot more patience to get good with this one, but you know what, I appreciate them going for something a little bit different. Plus, you got Robotnik as the main star of the show here in this one. I mean, they named the game after him, so that's you know, good for him. But the fact that we're even talking about Robo Blast 2 and the legacy that it has is super impressive because at this point we're talking about 20 plus years of this game existing, and we're still talking about it. The shelf life on this is unlike any other. Whenever I see annoying internet discourse regarding Sonic fan creations, I see a lot of people going about it just flat out the wrong way. Yes, I am raving a whole lot about so many of the beautiful things these fans have given us over the years, for free by the way, keep that in mind. But at the same time, I'm not saying we should discredit Sega's work. They're clearly the stars of the show here, and I still think they're doing a pretty good job course correcting and evening out the playing field. I just think the fan creations supplement that official stuff beautifully. And it's also not to be ignorant to other high quality fan games out there like AM2R. Similar to some of the classic Sonic games I've mentioned, I believe AM2R also deserves to be in the conversation for best Metroid games. It's that good. Also, kind of just a weird thing that happened. Remember when Capcom kind of officially endorsed Street Fighter X Mega Man? It was a fan game that they then said, hey, it's pretty cool, we could release it, I guess. It was still free, it was just a thing you can download, but Capcom said it's cool, so does this count? You simply do not see this to this degree with any other franchise. Like, dude, have you seen Sonic Rush 3D that's currently in the works? Like, this looks so good. At the end of the day, I also understand the argument that, hey, for the official works, they have to worry about making money, so they have to have these really huge budgets and they have to sell a whole bunch of copies to make even. Like, I get it. And on the other side, people are just putting out free download links for fan games that just need a little bit of tinkering with, and then you're good. I get it. That route isn't for everybody, but I don't know, man. Trying to be a Sonic fan by just consuming the official media starts to come off like some sort of sick, twisted version of Stockholm Syndrome. You mean to tell me you haven't been interested in popping on the Unleashed recompilation project once? You're lying to me. With so many good fan animations and comics, which I haven't even gone into, like there's so many good things you can find out there as well. The fan games, of course, there's so much good fan art out there, like, yeah, there's a lot of weird fan art that we're not going to talk about today, but there's also some really beautiful stuff. All I'm saying here, at the end of the day, I appreciate you. If you're making any of this fantastic stuff for this community, I appreciate you, because you can't make any money on it. It's like legally you can't do it, but you're still doing it because you just love it so much, and I appreciate it. And I want other people to appreciate it too. I believe that all of the quality work being put into this franchise from the fans, as well as the official stuff getting so much better by the day and by the month and by the year, and they're no longer relying on Twitter memes while still pumping out mediocre video games, the health of this franchise is better than it's been in a long time, arguably the best it's ever been. I mean, outside of like kind of taking Nintendo out of the console market, but you know, yeah, outside of that, it's doing pretty good. Before we wrap all this up, I have one final message I want to say. Please do not take any fan works and put them on a pedestal so high that you feel compelled to also talk down about all of the other official arts out there. That puts too much pressure on the people making the fan works, and then it's just no longer any fun. It's all about fun at the end of the day. Just don't do that. That's a weird level of tribalism that nobody really needs. Maybe it's just me being too much of a pacifist here, but all of this is really just my opinion that I look at the official and fan stuff as, holy shit, 2 cakes, and I think you should too. I'll recommend Mario fan games and Kirby ROM hacks until the Mario Kart Moo Moo Meadows cows come home, but Sonic has found himself in this unique position where Sega has started mysteriously tweeting about Sonic Unleashed right after the recompiled project came out, so like, okay, just embrace it, don't ask any questions, we're cool if you're cool. Listen, okay, back in the day when I was a kid, I signed up for Gaia Online just so I can get access to the stupid Sonic and the Black Knight emblem to stand next to my character that I would use for nothing else, because there was nothing else for me to do. Trust me on this, Sonic's in a pretty good spot now. This was definitely a bit more of a rambly video than my usual stick, so if you're considering to watch this video, thank you so much, I appreciate it. I'll go back to my usual, like, ROM hack and fangame spotlight later on this year, so stay tuned for that. But with Unleashed recompiled, man, it just sparked something in me that I really wanted to talk about this, because like I find myself loving Sonic more than ever before, and a lot of that is due to what the fans are doing behind the scenes. Like, it's incredible stuff all around. I love Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit. I also really enjoy Sonic Superstars. I adore Sonic Robo Blast 2. There is so much content there, especially when you go into modding it. Like, oh my god, there is so much stuff. But I also really love the base version of Sonic Frontiers. You take a look at something like SRB2 Kart, and it's just such a fun kart racer. I still can't believe that's real. On the other hand, you know, I didn't really love Team Sonic Racing, but it is what it is.